down out here in Ostia, Rome, right on the seaside, and the lights are coming on. You hear the buzzer go off, the crowd are ready. We've got absolutely jam-packed stands. And some of the biggest names in skateboarding are out here. Some absolute powerhouses. Yo, he's got it done!
Oh, let's get it.
It's the fact that everyone from around the world gets to come and skate this event. And to win or to do really well in an event like this means a lot because you're striving to be one of the best skaters in the world. I don't think anyone here is striving to be any less than that.
The best feeling when you can hear everyone screaming because you've known that you've done the best you can.
Oh my goodness, on the edge of my seat.
Oh, the buzzer!
There we go.
Getting done! Out onto that railing. Oh, changing it up.
To do it under pressure, but obviously it's a really big moment.
Wow, Naia Laso! And he's saying, what do you think of that, Rome? Coming through. I don't know. It is finals day here at the First Park World Cup event of 2025. I'm Marc Churchill, and I'm very happy to say that joining me is the skateboarding mastermind, MItchie Brusco.
Man, thank you for having me. I am so excited for today.
Yeah, same. But before we get anything started, we need to talk about what happened last night.
Yeah, we do. Soya Inomata does the first ever 720 in a World Skate Park contest, a stalefish 7 in the deep end. Did it out of a really nice trick over the hip. So that was a great run from Soya. He ended up in third. But we had Egoitz back him up with a 720. Not only did Egoitz do a 7 also, he did one of the greatest runs I've ever seen. And obviously we cannot forget Gui Khury stomps a perfect 900.
But I feel like that now sets the standard for the rest of the tour.
No doubt about that. There's no doubt, Marc.
And speaking of the rest of the tour, where are we going next? We're going to head back to the Coliseum for our street competition next weekend. Then we'll be taking it over to the United States, Washington, D.C. for park and street. And we'll be ending the year on a high in Japan again. So, MItchie, what's new? We're changing things up, right?
There is something very new. It's called the Golden Run. That just means the top 5 after 3 runs get an extra run. Not only that, you get what's called a first wall rebate. So if you fall on your first wall on that last run, you get to start your run again, no penalty.
So putting you on the spot, you've gone through qualifiers, through semi-finals, you get to finals. What would you do with the chance of having a golden run?
You know, it's new, so we don't know. But I put a lot more weight on your safe run. Because now there's a lot of value being in 4th or 5th place as you finish your 3rd runs. Now you can keep skating really late into the contest.
For sure. And that's our finals new format. But someone who didn't quite get through to finals, unfortunately, was Ventura, who MItchie caught up with earlier in the week.
Raicca, thank you for watching the open qualifier with me. I'm such a big fan of your skating, and absolutely great job last year, the defending champ.
Thank you so much.
My first question for you, when you show up to the skate park, are you first figuring out how to go fast, or are you first trying to figure out your tricks?
Try to go fast, because fast is easier. I don't know why, but it's easier.
What was the hardest part of your run last year?
I think was the kickflip indie or the nose blunt.
The kickflip indie over the hip, but what do you call it?
Cotovelo, elbow.
Which means the elbow. So in English it's the hip, in Portuguese it's called the elbow. The kickflip indie over the elbow, what makes it hard?
Everything is hard. Was hard, but now isn't anymore because it's a new year and a new Raicca.
Yeah.
Yes, Raicca. Pedro Carvalho is next. He's there.
Wow.
Yeah!
So you're the defending champion from last year. Does that change the way you practice this time around?
Yes, I need to practice like harder. I don't know, because I feel that I need to do my best.
Are you saving something for finals?
Yes.
Do you want to say what you're saving?
540 at the deep end.
And you just made your first 540 in park a week ago.
Let me see. This was my first at the concrete.
She made her first concrete 540 2 weeks ago. So that's the first one on concrete, and you want to put it at the end of your run?
Yes. Not the end, I think the middle.
Oh wait, this is Kalani. Really nice 540.
The elbow.
I'm convinced that it's an elbow now. I'm never calling it a hip again. I want you to teach me something in Portuguese. I want you to teach me how to order a small acai bowl with strawberries and granola.
For me, pra mim, vai ser.
Pra mim,
Vai ser
açaí.
açaí.
Wait.
Ó, pra mim, vai ser
Pra mim, vai ser
açaí.
açaí com morango e granola.
Yay!
There we go. That's hard. Thank you for spending time with me, watching this, and answering some questions. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So you're basically fluent in Portuguese now, right?
Stop. It's so embarrassing.
So you might have noticed that we've been joined by world-renowned skateboarder and someone who definitely knows their way around a skateboard competition, Letitia Buffoni. Thank you for joining us, Letitia.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your new role at World Skate.
So I'm the new chair of the commission, technical commission, and it's a new job for me. I don't know much yet, but I'm getting to meet everyone now and see everything that happens in the behind the scenes. And I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to be on the other side because I'm used to coming to a competition and skate, compete, and to be on the other side, it's kind of tough. But there's a lot to learn, and I'm very excited to be part of it, and I hope I can help.
Well, it's great to hear from you, and it's so good that you're the person that's in that position. I'm really excited to see where you go with it all.
Yeah, I definitely want to try my best to help and, bring World Skate closer to the skaters and see what they need. And, I'm here to help, and whatever they need, I'm just here, So let's see how it goes, but I'm very excited.
All right, I got one. I know it means a lot. Get out of here! I know it means a lot to the especially the girls out here that you're coming and supporting. But as a street skater, what are your personal favorite tricks to see in the park contest?
I don't know much about park. Like sometimes I even get confused on the tricks because I'm so used to just go to a street competition. But I know most of them.
Yeah.
So I've been around. I know some stuff. I just love all the 540s.
Yep.
Also, yesterday, seeing the 900 for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Not gonna lie, that was crazy. I never seen that before. I don't think everyone ever seen in a park.
It was the first one in a park contest.
In a competition, right?
Crazy.
So it was just crazy to me. But it's awesome to see all the girls out here and see that they're getting better and better every time. Like I remember a few years ago, no one was really doing a 500.
Excellent. Well, we'll let you go and get a good seat for the big show, and that means we're moments away from getting started. But before we do, let's check out what happened in our semi-finals last night.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
In last night's semi-finals, we went from 16 competitors down to our final 8. Reigning world champion Raicca Ventura briefly appeared to have survived the cut, only to be pushed down to 9th by the late charge of Spain's Naia Laso. The shy Spanish ripper Naia struggled through qualifying, missing her first 2 runs and looked close to tears before nailing a final run that left her more fired up as the buzzer sounded. Naia wasn't the only one to leave it until the last run to secure a spot in the finals. Brazil's Isadora Pacheco snuck through in her 3rd and final attempt after 2 earlier bailed runs. Australian Olympic gold medalist Arisa Trew mounted an impressive comeback after initially slipping to 10th place. It was a clear sign of just how fierce the competition was yesterday. A real eye-opener in the semi-finals was France's Nana Taboulet, qualifying in 2nd. She scored well, impressing the judges with her use of course. In doing so, she bumped out the only American, Lillian Erickson, off the top 8. Adding to the disappointment from the usually strong USA team, British standout Lola Tamblyn completed all of her runs, but failed to get the score needed to advance to the next stage. Rui, the younger sister of Mei Sugawara, made it to semi-finals in her World Cup debut. Watch out for this rising Japanese talent as she adds even more strength to an already powerful squad. 4 out of 8 finalists are representing the land of the rising sun. Okay, after all of that crazy skating yesterday, this is our top 8 through to our final. Isadora Pacheco, Hinano Kusaki in the mix there. Nana Taboulet had a great skate yesterday, but out in that first place position and skating last. Cocona Hiraki. Predictions, MItchie?
Oh man, it's going to be hard to top what happened yesterday. So my prediction is it's going to start off a little bit slow, because that's what happens in a final sometimes, then finish super hard.
Well, everyone's going to try and get that solid run down and build up on it, hoping that they get through to the top 5 and get that golden run.
Especially with that golden run.
Oh, maybe a bit of first run nerves there. It happens, right?
Look, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes finals start off a little bit slow. It's hard to feel your feet. Your legs are shaking. It's hard to catch your breath.
But at the end of our intro there, the noise of everyone screaming for the first riders was absolutely electric. You can't help but react to that. You get your nerves.
I'm just commentating, and I'm feeling it. I have goosebumps. My hair's standing up. You're like, what's going on?
Same, for sure. So, be moving on. Isadora just getting that straight 2 points for dropping in. It's a great score for a drop in. Okay, Hinano Kusaki up next.
She knows what it's like to put down big runs.
She knows her way around the big transitions as well. Knows how to keep that speed up and going straight into the kickflip Indy to start things off.
Huge kickflip Indy over the love seat to start the run. That's one of the best starts of the runs we've seen over the last 2 days.
Lovely frontside feeble in that deep end. See that powerful carving through the shallow, big 540. Big, looking very, very solid on her board.
Face high 540, pumping out, standing tall on the board.
So, if she completes this run, what's that going to say to the rest of the runners? Curse of the commentator.
That's what we call a commentator's curse.
But had she made that full run, how important is it to sort of send a message to the rest of the heat to say, I'm here and I'm not messing around?
You know, it is funny. When you get the first run down, it changes the whole vibe.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of when that is. But no matter what, that statement she made by doing that kickflip Indy at the beginning of the run, everybody knows she's going to finish that
But
run.
Did you see her smile on the way out of that? It was great. Like, yes, right, that one's out of the way. And still smiling now.
I love that so much.
71.96 with a full, and pretty much a third of her run still yet to go. That's a great score as we take it back to Sakura Yosozumi. From Japan, Sakura is one of the most solid skateboarders in the field. Has spent so much time skating transition, and it really shows. Look at her arms down by her side.
She's so relaxed, so smooth. This is where Sakura, I think, has an advantage of handling the nerves because she's so calm to start.
Ollieing off that extension, out of the backside 50-50, up to frontside lip slide. See that foot positioning then, straight to where she needs it to be.
I really like Sakura's foot position, how she can drop her front foot a little bit lower, keeps the board really easy to maneuver.
There's the 5 going to the knees. Now, what I was going to say is, it shows just how much control she's got. Went a little bit weird in the front blunt, but still managed to go, no, you're right, I've got this still, and bring it round. And that takes, you know, experience in this stage of a competition.
And for that 540, I know she squatted it yesterday and spent some time trying to get a stand-up one. I wonder if in her head she wants her finals 540 to be a stand-up, and that's why that one didn't go down.
Yeah, quite well be. So waiting for that first run score to come in. How much do you think, there's a 65.54, how much do you think the skaters are kind of hoping they get through to that extra run, the golden run, and relying on that? Do you think anyone's going to rely on it?
I think if you do rely on it, you want to get the golden run with a made run.
Yeah. Okay, Mizuho Hasegawa starting off well on that hip from the spine.
She has one of the best 540s in the world. I love how she spins it flat, keeps that tail pointed out. It's so nice.
There's that lean melon, tweaking it in the deep end.
Mizuho has a really strong vert background, and you can see that from the 540s and the kickflip indies.
And she's got that wide stance. You can see her feet are quite far apart, right over the bolts.
That'll help a lot with stability, just overall stability.
Backside ollie, taking it back over the spine. Frontside 50-50 transfer. Over the teardrop. Oh, just over rotating a little bit and landing a bit flat. So we'll get our medical team down there. We'll check her out. But I've got to tell you, these girls are hard as nails. See that? Straight up, thumbs in the air, and saying, yeah, all good. And she's walking out smiling.
Look, it's hot out and the adrenaline running. It's just easy to lose your energy. I think she laid there to rest for a second. I mean, I know it
just
hurt,
have a break,
but I think that was a little bit of a rest. I think once that adrenaline calms down a little bit, we'll see a little bit more consistency.
Well, there you see, with a full 77.53, we're yet to have a full run yet. But that could be about to change with the amazing Arisa Trew, right?
I don't care who you are. First runs are hard.
Yeah. So, Arisa has won pretty much everything last year. She knows what it's like to get through to a final, which means she knows how to compose herself.
Starting off with a big 540, two 540s.
So one switch in that run-up.
Over the hip from extension to extension. We did not see that from her yesterday.
Taking it up into the deep end with the lip slide. Madonna back lip, back over, low to high. Keeping the speed up to get over that bridge with the backside air.
This is my favorite part of her run. The backside 360 into the fakie frontside stalefish 3. She's just got to get some speed to get up to this blunt to fakie now.
Yeah, this is the key. It's happened. Looking good so far. And this is where we're going to see something special. Yep, switch invert.
Nice. I know she can upgrade that last wall, but she struggled a little bit yesterday qualifying. She made her last run to qualify. And I think she wants that switch invert and then rely on that golden run to try that super hard trick at the end. Even if she's not going to use her first wall rebate. Now she's just going to lock in that spot in top 5 and use that fourth run. I don't think she's going to use the first wall rebate necessarily.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how people use that first wall rebate. And knowing that she's got 2 different upgrades on that last trick, to be able to say, hey, judges, what do you think of that? Okay, I'll change it up if you didn't like it so much.
Yeah, she can improve execution and her tricks. But I really like the golden run because it's like you just unlocked another run for doing one that's pretty good. So I think that's a really positive feeling.
And first rider to get a full pull. 85.13 coming through. Mentally, that's going to feel really good knowing that no one else has made a run yet, right?
And now, the next person to make a run is going to be a really big deal because they're going to see where does that stand relative to Arisa, who's ranked world skateboarding #1.
So, Spain's Naia Laso, who has been absolutely tearing it up this whole competition, starts off her run with that backside Smith grind and an ollie 1 foot. Tail grab in the deep end, backside tail slide. That gives her that perfect line to keep this speed going, right?
Yes, 100%. It seems like she's really relaxing into her skateboard.
So, L twist just scraped through in that third and final run. And definitely not making that mistake again so far.
I think yesterday being such an emotional roller coaster, making her final run to qualify and feeling that relief.
Whoa!
Now all the stress is gone and she's able to go out and do things like that today.
And you know what? She must have been going through, yep, done. Ticking them off and then going, right, upgrade on the end. It's feeling good, I'll do it.
Big upgrade compared to yesterday. Yesterday she just finished with kickflip Indy. Now she did kickflip Indy straight to a 450 over the hip. And I actually like that it was a little sketchy and landed low and the wheels slid around. It showed some heart.
Yeah, for sure.
She definitely has some fresh Yoda socks on right now.
Yeah, I wonder how many pairs of Yoda socks she has. There's a stat that we want to know. So yeah, you see that 450? Spinning it round over the hip, low from the deep end, up into that midsection, waiting for that score to come through. This could be the best score she gets all weekend.
We're going to learn a lot about what to expect in this contest based on this score.
87.05 sees Naia Laso up in that first place position. You see Alain Goikichet giving her some congratulations.
As a rider, you're looking at the space between place 1 and 2 right now.
Yeah. Okay, Nana Taboulet from France, 15 years of age, has been going from strength to strength. It's looking pretty good in practice.
My favorite thing she does is that kickflip no grab on the bank.
Oh, getting caught up on that frontside tail slide shows just how important it is to land and get that right line.
So what I meant by looking at the space between place 1 and 2, since there's almost a full 2 points difference between Arisa and Naia's score, you know that there's room for you to get in between that. So you don't have to try to absolutely win the contest, but you can aim for that first or second spot because of that 2-point buffer.
For sure. And then also you can rely on that golden run as well. You just need to get into that top 5.
Exactly.
So 5 points coming through as we take it over to Japan's Cocona Hiraki. So Cocona's always looking so calm. It's like she doesn't get stressed.
She has next level board control. When you can do nose grinds that are 12 feet long into back tails, I think I'd be that comfortable too.
Lovely backside ollie in that deep end. Oh, so well executed, and this is, you know, that criteria that the judges are after. Execution is very heavily scored.
Her backside lip tricks especially are among the best in the entire field.
In the air over that hip channel, Smith grind transfer. We're back in off the side of that teardrop. There's the crail slide, and get time to take it over the end of the teardrop. What worries me, 2 backside tail slides. Different variation with the crail slide, but she might get a little bit hurt on repetition in that run.
Yeah, I don't think that is going to be one that stands through all 4 runs if you include the golden runs. But I do like it because I think that she's going to set the bubble for the golden runs. I think that might be what she's going for.
And also, getting that run down, shaking off that first run nerves, and just settling into the competition. You get that one out the way, you've got a solid score on the board, then you can sort of ease into it.
Her foundation is so strong that she's 1 trick away from really getting a lot of points.
So 3 full pulls, what strategical advantage is that going to give them?
If you have 3 full runs that you make?
Well, we've got 3 athletes who've got that full pull in there.
Yeah.
Those 3 are going to have a little bit of an advantage over everyone else because they've got that comfort, right?
Going into run 2, basically as a rider, I would be looking at where exactly is that 5th place cutoff. I'd constantly be trying to guess where that is and then see where my score ends up relative to that. Because if I do my safe run and it ends up being safe, I can already plan for that 4th run. But if it's absolutely terrible score, then I know I have to go for it.
Back to the top of the heats, runs number 2. You saw Cocona get that 88.03. Isadora is definitely going to try and creep up that leaderboard right now. Taking it back into the deep end, up to frontside Smith.
The amount of weight that Isa stands on the front Smith on the coping is unreal.
Lovely backside Smith. Lean tail slide, keeping that speed so hard. That's going to feel the burn, isn't it? And that's what we see. People coming back out of that deep end and having to carve that long wall to get the speed. It's a long way.
See, the contest goes so fast. Now she's in a really rough spot. She's 2 runs down. Now you don't know if you go for first or you go for a chance to get your golden run.
We saw that big frontside Smith and the Monty grind in there as well. We know what she's capable of. You don't get through to finals for no reason. Just needs to settle in and trust the plan. 59.43. Still only 3 full pulls on the board.
But they were really strong. Hiraki, Laso, and Trew all had really strong runs.
Okay, speaking of Hinano, going round to run number 2, just asking the cameraman to just budge over a little bit.
Very politely,
yeah,
I might add.
Rolling in backside, Livingston style. Kickflip Indy to start things off.
Kickflip Indy, that's just unreal. If you skated that thing, you'd realize just how big it really is.
Front feeble through that corner. And it's not just what tricks and where you do them, it's how you come out and what line you can continue on.
Her execution is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and it's certainly so on that big 540 in the deep end.
This is the part of her run that got her last time. And now she's through the nose grind. Now we're in the last part of the run. This is her first chance to get an ender.
Yeah, down to that final 10 seconds. Front
she
side
looks
grind.
Strong. She looks like she still has a lot of energy.
Backside air. Oh, okay. You can see she's like, whoa, I did it.
That's really big, and those last 2 tricks to be right at the end of the run actually takes really strong planning, because those last 2 tricks happen so fast that if you're a little late, then you lose a really important part of your run.
For sure, and if your feet aren't in the right place, you know, that wall comes up so quick in the deep end. So start things off with a lovely kickflip Indy. Feet were a little bit crazy on there, but she composed herself, got it done. But that backside 540 was perfect. Look at that. And then the alley-oop into the deep end, setting up for that last trick. Did well to land that high on the transition and keep that speed, right?
And that's the most important part, is speed control. Sometimes if you land too low, you're going too slow. Sometimes if you land too high, you actually have too much speed.
So waiting for that run number 2 score to come through. 88.04 will take first. And third now on that 85.14. But that 5th place bubble is 71.96. That will change, though.
She's going to be so safe from that bubble spot.
Yeah.
Arisa's actually might end up setting that bubble right now.
So 86.70 coming through for run number 2. Seeing her now in that 3rd place position. Back to Japan's Sakura Yosozumi, currently in 6th place, so outside of that 5th
I like that.
bubble.
I like her energy right now. Bouncing around on the deck a little, smiling.
Ollie into that bank to start things off. Front side air, landing a little bit low, taking a long carve across that flat bottom and ollieing in. Backside tail slide. Looks like the run's kind of gone a bit awry.
Yeah, she definitely had a little bobble on the first one, but she got it together real quick. Even though she's smooth and calm, she's also strong. As long as you don't lose your strength, you're good.
So going up for this front side blunt.
A lot cleaner this time.
Yeah, way cleaner this time. Taking it into the deep end. Needs to get this melon 5. Crouching it out, and it's a make. Still 10 seconds on the board. Backside 5-0. Looking to eye up into that deep end again. There it is. Heel flip Indy. Slightly alley-ooping on that. She's got that trick so dialed. Now, if that...
Was that in time?
Do you know what? If it was, that score's going to be way up there.
I wonder.
We'll see.
I wonder if that backside nose blunt, back 180, was in time. If you think about the boxes she's checking, great use of park, 540, flip tricks, and a singular lip trick at the end of a run that's just top notch.
Not just any singular lip trick, it's the backside nose blunt reverb.
It's hard for me to think of a better one off the top of my head.
There's the front side blunt.
It was not.
Yeah, just getting confirmation it wasn't in time. There's the melon 5. What could she do to get that in time? I don't think there's room for it, MItchie.
No, I don't know if there's a great way to just change the pacing of your run, especially for someone like her who's a little calmer.
But
I would focus on the execution on the 540.
Other question, does she need it? I guess so. Not 82.01. Sits in that 5th place, so she would be going through to the golden runs, but still on the board, 3 more non-made runs.
Look, and Arisa and
Yosozumi can both improve on execution, and that makes a really big difference. When you're squatting tricks out, the judges, especially in finals, are going to be harsh.
Mizuho back in, currently 6th place. Carving up those corners to get into the deep end. Big melon 5.
Mizuho and Arisa are fierce vert competitors against each other, and it looks like it's the same exact thing in park.
Coming off of that frontside Smith grind. Yes, loving the change up in the run. Looking very comfortable. Kickflip Indy, it's made.
How quickly it snaps to her feet.
Backside blunt slide through the corner, making that look way too easy, and it is really not an easy trick. Let's twist over the hip. Ollieing over that gap, frontside 50-50 transfer, coming down to the last second. Not making the mistake from last time. It looked like she calmed down and didn't pump so hard.
So important to learn from your mistakes, and it's scary when a simple trick goes wrong at the end of your run. Sort of don't know what to do. You're like, well, I just try it again, do the same exact thing.
Well, you know, skateboarders get caught in the repetition. That's how you get good at skating.
I want you to look at this backside blunt slide through the corner and how it goes straight into the deep end again. It's hard to carve far enough through the backside blunt slide to aim the right direction to keep your line. That was personally my favorite part of the run.
Here we go.
Right here. And you have to get all the way around the corner, all the way to that seam, and then now you can stay in the deep end. It's very cool the way she put this line together.
And that set her up to get that L twist. So, waiting for that score to come through. 77.53 was good enough for 6th. That's definitely going to change now. And that will leave 2 riders left that haven't pulled a full run.
What do you think Arisa's strategy is coming in this next run?
I think she's going to put the cat amongst the pigeons. She's just going to say, you know what, here we go.
A big 89.64 for Mizuho.
Big score. Good enough for 1st place. She's going to be buzzing after that. But, as I was saying, I think Arisa might well have a test run now, just to see how certain tricks feel. Same run, different ender.
Yeah, change her ender for the big one. I could see that. I was talking to her in practice. I know she has a plan to unleash a really nice ender. I don't want to spoil it for you guys.
Coming off that McTwist in the deep end, back into the deep end with the frontside lip slide. All the style for every mile.
And she looks like her blood is pumping, and she's just a bit stronger in the second run opposed to the first.
Indy 360 was better this time. Came out of the ramp a little bit higher, meaning she's carried that speed. Frontside ollie back into the midsection.
Look at this. Look how hard she's pumping. It looks like she has a lot of energy. Let's see this. There it is, the switch. Backside 5-4. Switch McTwist.
McTwist.
In the deep end.
In the deep end. We have not seen that happen here.
An NBD at a World Skate Park
For sure. That is the big deal. Not only is this our women's final, one of the youngest riders out there throwing this down. We don't see that across the competition at all. And that shows just how amazing Arisa Trew is, and a pioneer of women's skateboarding and skateboarding in general, right there in front of your eyes.
Not to mention first try in the competition.
Yeah, first go. I saw her throwing it around in practice. Couldn't quite get it round. But when it mattered, check that out.
You could tell from the moment she dropped in, she just had that energy and the right attitude about it.
Well, is that going to be enough for the first World Cup win, though?
Only time will tell.
I knew I could do it.
I am. So, I'm just being informed that we still had 3 seconds on the clock after that, so she could always get another trick in. But what are you going to do when you're coming in backwards?
Well, now we have the 4th. She's definitely going to get that 4th run.
Boom.
92.
There you go. 92.43 and way ahead in first place.
There were a couple of things that were improved on that run. The speed and energy, execution, and a switch McTwist.
Yeah, switch is basically writing with your left hand if you're right-handed, right? Very hard.
It's like writing in a different language with your left hand.
Okay, Naia Laso getting stuck right in. Currently 4th place. Looking to switch that run up or tidy it up a little bit and improve that score. Looking comfortable at the moment.
we can now see that we're well into this contest. Oh, she was trying a kickflip stalefish or a tail grab.
Do you know what? I think just switching up that run, putting a little one trick in different. We saw it yesterday how well the judges rewarded that. So reacting to that judging criteria is very important. I think that was what she was doing.
That would be a big difference. And you can see that compared to first runs, how everyone looked a little tired and slow and the tricks just weren't working. You can tell from that first drop in the first carb that everyone has that energy back. That's what I was talking about, how that consistency later in the contest will be a little better.
Okay, Nana Taboulet dropping in, wants to get away from that last place position. Frontside air looking way cleaner this time. Taking it into the deep end. That was a really, really good frontside Smith grind.
Oh, that kickflip no grab is so hard under pressure.
And how much do you think the judges appreciate that she's doing something different? No one else is just doing a straight kickflip out there.
Well, they're not doing it because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's not because they don't want to, right? She's really differentiating herself by doing a kickflip and not grabbing it.
Taking it out to lip slide back in the midsection. Back nose blunt to get it done. Grabbing hold of it.
Really
Backside
nice
nose
job.
grind.
Really nice job fighting for that nose blunt. I think it will be a ding on execution because the heel touched the coping a little bit, but it's always better than an entire bail. Now that golden run is in the question.
Yeah, it could well be sat there in that position. And whatever score comes through, she knows that if she cleans up the backside nose blunt, that score's going to improve.
Yep, and the judges really like that kickflip, no grab, and she has a lot of speed throughout her run. Sometimes that's hard to see on camera when you're watching through the TV, but in person, she's so strong and confident on the board. That also makes a really big difference in your score.
Well, that comes across in the overall kind of impression of the run, right?
Yep, which is a criteria.
So here's that backside kickflip. How important is it to stand out from the crowd, MItchie? Like, do something that no one else is doing.
It's important to do it in the right way. You don't want to just stand out by waving your arms in the air and skating around. But doing it with a technically sound trick like a kickflip where if you know what you're looking at, it's immediately a differentiator. That is just so smart.
Do you know what? There was a lot of heel down in that back nose blunt. They might well dock her some serious points for that. 85.20, so sitting one position outside of getting through to golden runs.
Yeah, that's the difference between being in 5th and 6th, and that's a big deal with this new format.
Okay, Cocona Hiraki, our last rider of run 2. Coming through those shallow end corners, just getting that line over the bottom of the hip into that huge backside nose grind.
I'll be impressed every single time I see that nose grind, the way she just sits on it.
Oh, backside kickflip.
That's a big upgrade from her first run, and doing a kickflip no grab in the deep end is a big deal.
Up on those pull tiles. Up to front side nose grind. Stalefish disaster. Classic Cocona right now. In the air. Coming across to the spine transfer. Love that Smith grind transfer. Andy Scott style right there.
Part of the reason she scores so well is she fits so many tricks in. Her use of park is probably better than anyone in this comp.
Well, that's what consistently sees her in a final and going through into finals in that first place position.
Yep.
You get lulled into a false sense of security because she's so confident and so clean with her execution.
Look at this
It almost
backside
looks
flip.
like she's not doing much.
Look at that backside flip. I think she wanted to hit the coping with the back foot. You see her catch it with her back foot only and push on it. But it's impressive that she was able to hold on to it right out.
Okay, waiting for that score to come through. Looking very comfortable with the 88.03, but you definitely know she wants to climb on into those 90s.
Yeah, and she's got
88.60. So 88.60, she's looking a bit confused about that.
The judges must have seen something that docked a few points because a kickflip opposed to no kickflip
is going to be usually worth more than 0.6.
Okay, we are back to the top of the heat. Third and final runs. This is where it matters, because after this, if you're not in that top 5, you're not going to get that golden run. So everyone's not only trying to get up onto that podium position, but get into that 5th place at least. Isadora Pacheco. Lovely backside air, tweaking that back foot out. Up to frontside Smith grind. Look how much control she's got.
Execution on a million on that front Smith.
Monty grind on that flat wall, lining up to come back into the deep end. Lean tail slide. This is where she couldn't get the speed before.
It's very difficult. I was talking to Tate Carew about that last night. It's very difficult to go over the love seat that direction, the way she just went.
Standing up on that frontside grind, trying to get the line for that kickflip indie, and it got away from her, literally throwing everything she had at it there.
Go down swinging. That is the way to do it. You cannot mess around and get into the top 5 with how high the level is of skating.
So, not Isadora's day, but to be honest, you're on a win if you got through to finals. You really are. You should be very proud of yourself to get this far in the competition. Waiting for that third and final run score to come through. Team Brazil are so prolific in skateboarding, aren't they? That passion comes through in every rider's skating. You see Pedro there in the background showing support. He didn't get through to finals this time, but he is definitely in the background showing full commitment to the team. 67-01 will be that final score for Isadora.
It happens so fast. Those 3 runs are just...
Okay, Hinano Kusaki currently in 5th on that 5th place bubble. 2 other skaters could knock her off of that.
You're not going for a marginal improvement right now. Now it's time to go for the win.
Execution-wise, that was way better on the kickflip indie. Frontside feeble through that deep end corner on those pull copings.
Full pump. She's going to blast this.
Oh, wow. Like you said, go down swinging.
That is
put everything in and go for podium.
That is the perfect strategy. She just
drop in and go for the kill.
And kind of just going to watch the leaderboard, see if she gets pushed out of that golden run. But that really is a nice opportunity to practice for this body varial fight. Huge kickflip indie. For this body varial fight, what she's got to do is just aim her front foot for the front bolts. That's it.
That is if she gets through to the golden runs. There's 2 other skaters, Nana and Sakura, that could push her out of that 5 position. 32-30, so finishing up on that 86.70. Now has to wait to watch the rest of the heat go through to see where she's going to finish up. And Sakura Yosozumi, former Olympic champion, MItchie. How does that affect you when you get to this point, and how much has skateboarding changed since that first Olympics?
I think the only way you win an Olympics is if you focus. Wow, I cannot believe she fell on a frontside arrow over the hip.
Pretty much the easiest trick she's got.
I think so. Maybe it was a gust of wind. Maybe she was thinking about the Olympics. I don't know. I'm speechless that just happened, because she could have knocked out, she could have gotten that golden goose position.
Yeah, it was everything, right? Maybe that was too much pressure.
I wonder if she was stuck between strategies, not knowing what to do, or whatever it may be. To not even put your wheels down.
Yeah.
Something must have been...
Not just try and commit anyway. It's all on the line.
Something must have been very wrong.
So Mizuho Hasegawa safely in and rolling backside into the midsection. There's that judo in and across that gap into the deep end.
Mizuho's strong vert background. We're probably going to see an upgrade on her trick on the vert wall.
There's that frontside Smith grind.
Setting up the foot.
Second hit in the deep end.
Big
wow.
kick flip frontside air.
That is going to change things up massively.
And she has more. She has more to add to this run if she'd like.
So kickflip frontside air, kickflip indie, blunt slide through the corner. Going to be setting up to get this fakie. There's the L twist. It's looking very good with 6 seconds on the clock. Frontside 50-50 transfer.
And finishing it off on the volcano.
Huge run for Mizuho.
A massive upgrade in the deep end. Doing a kickflip and going frontside is really hard to control both where you land on the quarter, and it's hard to control the actual board as it flips.
Looks like Mizuho is not going to be trying to rely on that golden run and going for that first place position.
To be able to step up a run that's that difficult and then still have more is an insane amount of skill.
Well, look at the tuck-knee catch on this.
I've seen her try that a lot back in Southern California when we skate together, and the make rate isn't insanely high. So for her to do it that perfectly under this amount of pressure late into a final, it just shows something you can't teach.
So currently second place.
It's just such a
89.64.
You're just smiling away.
I mean, I'd be smiling to walk away from a run like that for sure.
That gives Arisa a run for her money.
Waiting for that score to come in. Everyone's eyes are on that board right now. And that has asked something of the judges, right?
Oh,
Two
yeah.
kickflip grabs, changing the run. You know, it's kind of ticking those boxes.
Perfect execution. I can't think of one thing that went even a little bit sideways.
That nervous way, knowing you're on the big screen in front of everyone here. We've got packed stands out here in the Spot Skate Park Ostia, including some big names from the street competition next weekend as well. We got Raissa Leal making her way out and getting in the crowd, supporting Team Brazil and all of the women's. And a new leader, 92.80. Mizuho Hasegawa from Japan is out in that front place spot.
Arisa and Mizuho have gone first and second in a lot of vert contests. I expected something very similar here for them to be going back and forth.
So, looking to answer to what we've just seen from Mizuho. Arisa Trew, Eye of the Tiger.
Look at her. Look at how focused. She's ready. She's going to start it off really strong.
Big McTwist to start things off. Melon 5.
And look at I think she's a little angry. She's standing up and pumping pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean,
fear is gone.
That is going to. Oh no way! Kickflip indie just getting away from her. So Arisa Trew, if she wants to get on that first place position, she needs to do that golden run perfectly.
And she was trying to answer. Yeah. And I think you could see that. It's really hard to balance that amount of aggression and technical tricks. I think having this fourth opportunity, I think Arisa's going to be very thankful for that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, this is the first time we've had that golden run in a final. And when it matters most, like the position that Arisa's in now, that's when you want it, and she's got it.
She's going to have to dig deeper.
So Naia Laso in fourth place position, 87.05 on the board. Looking to improve it. Would like to climb up at least into podium positions.
We're looking for this kickflip stalefish or tail grab in the deep end. I couldn't figure out what she was trying last time.
Looking good so far. Back Smith on 1 foot. There's the tail grab. Slightly alley-oop on that. Getting the line for the kickflip stalefish.
There it is.
Great execution. Needs to stay calm. Backside lip slide.
She's going to have a run with 2 flip tricks in it, opposed to just 1, and a harder flip trick than the one last time.
There's the L twist in the deep end. Needs to definitely just calm it down and go through the process.
It's a different line than last time.
Getting it done. And coming out off the hip with the backside ollie on the buzzer. Solid run there for Naia.
Really smart to change the line at the end so she could get that ollie over the hip.
That's what I meant. Calm it down. You've done a lot already. Just complete the run.
She was really strong between the ears on that run to have the wherewithal to make sure to get that little extra trick in there and add a flip trick. I thought that was just great. She seems very poised compared to yesterday.
Execution-wise on that kickflip stalefish, her back foot was back on the board at the same time as she grabbed.
It's such a tight position when you grab that it's hard to do a bad kickflip stalefish, because if it's bad, it just doesn't work.
Finishing it off with the kickflip Indy. 90.03, you were right. That little extra and calming it through the rest of the run and making it completed, seeing her jump up into that third place position and bronze medal position.
It's a very, I'm sure she's very happy with herself right now. She's fought very hard to get into this position in finals.
Okay, Nana Taboulet from France is the only one not in the top 5. So outside of getting that golden run, would love to jump up into that 5th place position, but it's over a full point.
It's a big deal for Hinano, because this is a battle who gets a 4th run or not.
Yeah, she's going to be chewing her nails off right now. There's the frontside tail slide. Screeching those wheels. Lovely, solid frontside Smith grind.
Looking really good.
Backside flip. I think that was a bit cleaner than the first one.
And she has something to add in the deep end, too. She's fighting for it. I really don't mind that, because she's going to add something in the deep end later.
She got away with that lightly, overshot it slightly, had to early release to be able to get back onto the transition.
Here's a kickflip Indy in the deep end. She just got to throw it down and stand on it.
Yeah, there it is. Oh. No way! Just couldn't quite stand back up on that.
I think she just let her knees collapse. And once you get too low, it's really hard to get out of the bottom. Everything about that looked perfect. And sometimes you have to attack the landing. You can't let the landing happen to you. You have to stand up on it and make it happen.
So you can see disappointment there on Nana's face as she takes it over back to the coach area. 85.20. That's a big score to get into that 6th place. She should definitely be proud of that. As we go back to Cocona Hiraki in 4th place position, would like to jump back into podium. Starting off where we've seen her start every time, and with that big backside nose grind. How can you be that consistent on that trick that far?
Straight into a back tail, not to mention, and a backside flip in the deep end again with speed on the way out.
Yeah, execution-wise, things are definitely a step up.
I don't think just execution alone will put her on the podium in this situation.
Frontside nose grind, yeah, she's going to have to add a trick and change things up.
We're looking for one big trick.
Could it be this?
There is a really nice addition with the kickflip. Squat straight into a front Smith over.
She was getting very close to the corner on that one. Trail slide, still got time for one last one. Stay on, in the air, over. That's teardrop, that's a full run. And that's going to have Naia very nervous right now.
Look, she handled that perfectly. She handled her strategy from the beginning of this contest all the way through to this point perfectly.
So,
and I like that she added a flip trick where no other girl is doing a flip trick.
And that ollie up to frontside nose grind is absolutely crazy. Kickflip Indy over the gap hip.
To be able to get out of the squat, stand up, adjust your feet, and still do the front Smith over the spine is very impressive.
And then finishing it up with the crail slide in the Indy air over the teardrop. Now waiting for that score to come through. Looking to get up into at least 3rd place position to be podium as we go through to our golden run section. Our top 5, and only our top 5, will get another run with a first wall rebate. That means if you fall on that first trick, you can start your run again.
This leaderboard is switching around a lot. I love it.
91.08. Yep, way up there, over a point in front of Naia Laso. Now, in Naia's position, knowing she's into the golden run section, she's having a little bit of a break now. What do you reckon Team Spain are going to be saying? What's the advice that's going to come through?
So everyone in the top 4 has made their strong run that they came for. Mizuho actually has a little bit to add if she would like. But right now, you're just digging deep and trying to get a little bit lucky on doing the best run that you just did, and then add the hardest trick you think you have a chance for on top of everything else.
Psychologically, with Arisa not making that last run and not getting to where she wanted to be, how do you think that's going to affect her as we go through to the next stage of the competition?
I think Arisa has just got to go one trick at a time. I don't think she should think too much about last run, next run, golden run, any of that stuff. I think Arisa's natural ability is very strong, and she's just got to breathe and do it.
Tightening up those laces, or maybe the opposite there.
If you start thinking about the end of your run while you're on your way to a kickflip indie, or if you're even thinking about the kickflip indie on your way to the kickflip indie, maybe a trick early, you can get a little funny in your head and miss the flick or start thinking too much. She had something in her shoe. I don't know what it was.
So, 3 minutes warm-up for our golden run section. Our top 5 will get an extra run. But the first trick rebate, that's the thing that's going to be interesting to me. You were saying earlier, you don't think you're going to see many people using that.
Well, look, I have a theory that if you use your first trick rebate, I think you're very likely to fall on your first trick twice.
Okay.
Because you're using it because you know it's hard. And you're using it in that position because you don't have confidence in it. But 2 tries isn't a lot of tries. So it's a little bit difficult to add a risky trick into your strategy. And I think if you go about trying to use your rebate and then just going back to your regular run, I don't know if that looks great from a judging standpoint.
And the energy ramifications as well. You're burning up too much, and then you've got, knowing that you've not landed it, you've got to go back and start again. They're not going to wait all day for you as well. The instructions were from our manager down there. You have to make your way straight back to where you were. No drinks, no conferring with your coach, and drop straight back in. That's a big ask if you've had a big fall.
Yeah, and they're asking you to stay quick, like around 30 seconds. It's not a hard and fast rule, but then you already tried a trick, you ran out, and now you're just going again. I don't see falling on your first trick being an advantage in any way.
Barely a spare seat in those stands, and I'm sure you can hear the noise that crowd is producing right now out here in Ostia at the Spot Skate Park for the first World Cup event of 2025. Dora in the crowd there as well with Raicca. This is where it counts. All or nothing, right? If you're not in that podium position, it is on the line. And Hinano Kusaki dropping in. Going for a clean start to the run.
Really nice kickflip indie, just starting that so strong.
And remember, the rebate is only on the first trick. So she'll be seeing the rest of this run through.
Now this is her big trick here. Body barrel 540.
Yes!
Got her feet on the board really nicely early in the 5. Stood up on the way out.
I think she was listening to you, mate. Taking your advice. Big frontside Smith grind through that deep end corner. Out to backside nose grind. That was an improvement as well on the one we saw in the run earlier. Frontside grind, getting that line back into the deep end.
And she's so strong at the end of her run. She has all this energy left. Hit the hip, hit the hip.
Could have arguably hit the hip,
there was time for that to count.
If she'd have fallen, that would have affected her probably more than not hitting the hip.
Yes.
Clever skateboarding right there.
Kickflip indie, body barrel 5, that was like head high. And overall, just a great improvement on her previous run. To do that when it counts, there's some people who just have the clutch blood. When it's time, when it's late in finals, can you make that one trick that you came for?
There you go, body varial 5. Perfect execution, feet really straight back on the board early. Alley-oop backside air into the deep end. You could see the smile on her face. She's like, I've done it. I've done it. This one's just going through the motions.
A bit cheeky.
I love seeing that from Hinano. She lands her tricks smiling, like, yep, really happy to have got that done. On to the next one. It's great, and it's infectious to watch. You can't help but smile yourself. But where is that going to see her sitting in our final standings? And we'll have to have a nervous wait as we move on through the rest of our golden runs. Crowd are certainly behind her. Looks like a bit of relief as well. Just happy to have got it done.
You know she's very nervous for this score to come.
91.35. That sees her in that bronze medal position, third place. But still two more riders that can take that away from her.
And Cocona had a very good run, too.
See those Yoda socks pulled up, ready.
I wonder what Naia has to add here. She did her bang and run last time.
Well, she's got a deep trick bag. Be great to see something new. Starting off, big backside Smith grind. So we'll be seeing the rest of the run through. Only 1 foot onto the bank. Oh, you know what? I saw her do it 3 times in the 3-minute practice perfectly. And it's just not worked out for her. But to get through in 5th place is fantastic. And a 90.03 is the score she's going home with.
I know from my experience that skating in practice is just so much different than skating in a contest. There's so many times I wish it felt the same. You can do things in practice, but then the comp starts and you have the adrenaline running, and all of a sudden the flip is just a little different.
Another thing to remember as well, just getting through to the final means you're getting 15,000 and some points going towards your world skateboarding ranking score.
But now Cocona can answer, can get back up into the podium spot.
I think we're going to see an upgrade for sure. Backside nose grind, holding that so well. Out to backside tail slides, maybe a couple of inches longer.
Oh! Really pushing for the coping, really trying to force that 5-0 on this one.
Out to backside lip slide on the extension over the hip.
100% commitment right now.
Oh, okay, switching it up. Front side nose grind into the lip slide. I feel like she could step up
Execution here is going to be big.
Front side Smith transfer, carving through. Off of the teardrop, backside crail slide, needs to stay on this, in the air. So, playing it clever and upgrading just enough, but will it be enough?
She's asking a lot from the judges right now. So, that kickflip was a little bit higher than the last one. And she only needs very few points to get up onto that podium.
But also doing the front side nose grind into the lip slide, into the deep end, showing a change up of that run.
I wonder how the judges are going to react to that. It could be a little bit of, sometimes you need to state your claim. You're like, I'm on the podium, and you're going to have to explain to me why I'm not there.
I mean, they might be trying to choose why she wouldn't be.
This is the conversation I believe the judges are having, is does that change the 3rd place spot?
Well, 2 thumbs up from Cocona. Currently 4th place. Already got a 91.08.
I think the biggest change she could have made would be standing up on the kickflip indie over the hip.
Yeah, for sure. See Sakura in the background there, eyes locked on the board as well. Tense moment.
Oh, this isn't
very
easy.
Tense. 91.62 sees her jumping back into that 3rd place. It was almost like she couldn't believe it then. She was like, where am I? Oh, I'm there.
That was roughly a 0.5 increase in her score, and that comes from the combination of a little bit higher kickflip and that nose grind with lip slide.
So what is going through Arisa Trew's mind right now?
Hopefully nothing.
Okay, just a clear mind.
And you notice the difference in the focus. She looks a bit brighter now than she did. She had that dark energy last time. I think she's a little calmer in this one.
So currently got a 92.43, looking to improve it. Big McTwist to start things off. Melon 5, that was better executed.
Really good. Looking really good.
30-second mark up to the frontside nose grind.
Her feet are really working this time.
Oh, wow. Kickflip indie getting away from her. Stephen Pinheiro can't believe it.
That's how we all feel right now, Stephen.
It's going to be hard to not be disappointed, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see that classic smile that Arisa is known for.
Once your kickflips go away, it's so hard to get them back. Talk about a golden
This is going to be a victory lap.
I think we could call it the double golden run.
Yeah, pretty much. This is just drop in.
She should use her first wall rebate.
I would, yeah, that would be special. Shape of things to come. Hey, keep an eye out for me in Washington later in the year.
Just try something.
Yeah, that would be great. Put a show on for the crowd. This crowd has come out. It's packed out here. They want to see something else, especially from our first place and winner of our Park World Cup 2025, Mizuho Hasegawa.
Big judo. I'm very curious what she does in this run. Congratulations, Mizuho. You deserve it.
Big frontside Smith grind. Down into the deep end. Second hit. Kickflip frontside air.
Just buttery.
Yeah. Kickflip indie. She's just going through the motion right now, right?
It looks like she could do this 100 times in a row.
Yeah. Kickflip indie fakie.
That's new.
The L-twist back into the midsection. This is going to be an improvement if she can make the whole run. Frontside 50-50 transfer. Needs to stay on the alley-oop. And she does! Huge run there for Mizuho Hasegawa. She didn't need to step it up, and showing true form, threw everything in there and went, yo, I'm not done. This is what I would have done if I needed to.
That was a real statement, because that shows us all that even if Arisa made that run and took the top spot, Mizuho has the chance to answer right back.
93.34 and maintaining that first place position, of course. Mizuho Hasegawa absolutely on top form.
She showed a lot of heart in this competition and also a lot of consistency.
Do you know what? Not having to do that and getting in there, you could hurt yourself, put yourself out for a while, but you know what? If you've held something back, you still want to get it done as a skateboarder, right? You're like, no, I want to have to do it.
Well, and I noticed when Arisa fell that Mizuho was the first one to go up to Arisa and give her a hug and say, great job. And, okay, now I have a victory lap. Let me go in there and smoke this ball.
Let me tell you about the camaraderie out there on the platform. Everyone is rooting for everyone else, even if they might kick them out of the competition or off the podium. You know, the friendships that have been made and continue to be throughout the competition is amazing, and it is even more evident in our women's competition.
Maybe the real golden run is the friends we made along the way.
That was possibly the cheesiest line I've heard you say the whole weekend, mate. Thanks for that. So let's check out those final results. Just getting confirmation.
We have 1 minute.
Here we go. Isadora Pacheco couldn't get it together, get that full run she needed. And Sakura finishing up in 7th place. So middle of the pack, Naia Laso made it through to get that golden run position. Couldn't quite get it done. But top 3, Cocona Hiraki, 91.62. Arisa Trew, 92.43. And the amazing Mizuho Hasegawa in that first place and taking the win with a 93.34. That was incredible.
The top 5 is just so close in points, too, all the way from 1st to 5th.
Well, we keep seeing that. You know, yesterday was electric out there. Everyone was going blow for blow through the competition, and we've seen it again in our finals. Right, let's check out our top 3 runs from the day. I can't wait to watch it all again.
I am very much looking forward to this recap. I want to see all these tricks right back to back to back and see exactly why everyone ended up right where they are.
See our crowd rushing down to get a drink and get ready for our men's finals that will be up soon. we'll get a look at our third place run.
Did Cocona make all 4 runs?
Yes, I do believe she did.
It's an incredible amount of consistency, especially that first run was such a strong score.
There's that backside kickflip, just catching the back truck on the coping. Frontside nose grind, lip slide to switch it up.
Upgrading the height on her backside flip and the nose grind to lip slide is what made all the difference.
Well, that's what seen her get into that third place and back onto the podium.
That was a high pressure situation too. She was in 4th, dropping in for her last run.
Okay, second place. Coming out of that big McTwist in the deep end, Arisa Trew. Kickflip Indy. Love the way she slaps the board onto her feet. If you're stood on the platform, you can hear that.
Great style on her kickflip Indies especially.
The Ollie Blunt on the flat bank, and then coming in for the switch McTwist. What an amazing performance from Arisa.
That's a great second place.
But it wasn't enough. And taking that first place with an incredible run, Mizuho Hasegawa. Melon 5, and improving on that score when she didn't need to. Shows true grit and showmanship.
Look, and she still has more in the tank. I think we're going to see a lot of Mizuho moving forward.
For
years
sure.
to come.
Yeah, the future of skateboarding is very, very safe in those capable hands. Taking a bow there. Well, there it is. Our top 3, Cocona Hiraki, Arisa Trew, and Mizuho Hasegawa. What an amazing women's final here at our Park World Cup. The first event of 2025 is starting with style and setting the bar so high. You can see everyone maintaining those seats. If you snooze, you lose. You want to maintain a good seat for our men's competition, which will be coming up later on. And the Spot Skate Park is a great place to be.
Man, I really like it here at this skate park. I could imagine myself coming here for a short vacation, just cruising around the bowl, going over to the beach, and just hanging.
Yeah, we're a stone's throw away from the beach, and this is a permanent free skate park. You can come here anytime.
Yeah, it's public, open.
And speaking of our skate park, we caught up with Willie to chat about how important this local skate park is.
Sì, buongiorno a tutti, sono William Zanchelli e sono il responsabile dello skate park The Spot. The Spot nasce dalle nostre esperienze sportive, soprattutto le mie, dal mondo del basket, che mi hanno sempre avvicinato alla cultura un po' degli sport americani. The Spot nasce nel 2003 da un'idea di un gruppo di amici, soprattutto da un gruppo di amici a cui amano lo sport.
This spot for me means a lot. It's a second home. It's the only place where I can skate when I'm based here in Rome. If I didn't have this park, I didn't know where to skate. And I'm really stoked that I can help be an inspiration for the kids that are around these areas. The Spot, it's for sure one of the best parks in probably all Europe, like one of the best ones. But it's located in a really hard place in Rome. A lot of kids need like an inspiration, need a sport to be outside from the street. This spot gives a lot of like future for the kids.
Lo skateboarding, come gli urban sport, in particolare lo skateboarding, aiuta a dare messaggi positivi, messaggi di aggregazione, di integrazione. Facciamo riferimento a questo evento. Noi dobbiamo ringraziare le istituzioni, ma soprattutto la World Skate, che sceglie il nostro skatepark perché ci rende fortunati, ovvero noi creiamo una specie di miracolo sociale quando iniziamo la preparazione dell'evento. Tutti gli skater più forti al mondo vengono nel nostro park, skatano insieme ai nostri ragazzi e non si vede in nessun altro sport vedere degli atleti di così grande fama, atleti così importanti che partecipano alle Olimpiadi, che si mettono a giocare con i ragazzini di una community.
When I was younger, skateboarding, like, why you don't play football, you know? It's skateboarding, what is skateboarding? Nowadays, I saw that the kids were super stoked about skateboarding. This really make me feel really happy because, like, when I was younger, skateboarding was really not appreciated. Willie, when he sees all these people, it's like crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, he loves to stay with kids. He loves to stay with people. He enjoys skateboarding. So that's what it matters.
È il momento più bello della mia vita poter ospitare un evento del genere. È il sogno che diventa realtà, cioè lavorare 20 anni per poter ospitare l'evento più importante che c'è al mondo dello skateboarding. È qualcosa che noi siamo fortunatissimi e ringraziamo veramente la World Skate e chi ha scelto il nostro park per poter realizzare il nostro sogno. Da parte nostra cosa troverà la World Skate? Tanto amore, tanta passione, tanta voglia di fare, non ci fermiamo mai, non molliamo mai. Questi sono gli ingredienti per far sì che quando qualcuno sceglie di venire qua deve rimanere felice e contento di collaborare con noi.
So this is our third time at the Spot Skate Park. And how important is it that this place is just free to skate anytime?
Man, you see the level of skating in this contest. I mean, it's the highest level I've ever seen in a park contest, and I think that has a lot to do with both the park being open to the public and just coming back over and over World Skate. And that's what Alessandro Mazzara was saying. He comes here every week.
Yeah, well, at least once a week. He's putting the reps in. He knows the park better than anyone else, and I'm really interested to see what he gets done in our finals. But also, Hampus spent 6 weeks here before.
Imagine being able to spend 6 weeks at a park getting ready for a comp.
Yeah, hit the bowl, hit the beach, great food. You know, it's a wonderful place to be. And speaking of Hampus, I actually caught up with him a little bit earlier in the week for a chat.
All right.
Hampus, thank you very much for sitting down with me and taking a bit of time away.
Of course, it's a pleasure.
Let's start things off, having a bit of chat. So, how is it to be a European skater going against the bigger known countries like Brazil and America?
Until like a couple years ago, it felt like we were kind of like smaller skate scenes. But in Malmo and Sweden, where I live now, it's been growing a lot the last couple of years. And together with my coach and Norwegian skaters and Denmark, we all been coming together and skate together. So it feels like we started to get something good going there.
And it's like a kind of traveling family, right? You see the same people, sometimes different. What's it like when you sort of get to the event and you start seeing your homie?
It's so fun. I've always been, I don't know, like a little shy of good skaters and stuff like that, but it feels like I'm getting more friends and starting to skate more with all the good skaters, so that's helping me for sure.
Who's your favorite skater to share the platform with?
That's a really good question, but either gonna have to go with Noah, my homie from Sweden, or Pedro Barros.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying earlier it's so good in the practice sessions. What's it like being on the platform with him?
He has such a good energy and just like hypes everybody he skates with, so it's super nice, and I love his style, how he skates, and just the energy and the vibes.
And your skating has gone from strength to strength. What is it you're doing to keep your progression going?
I'm pretty contest driven with like results and stuff. I want to do better, but also just like being a better skater and a better person to all the skaters I'm around, and trying to like inspire the next generation in Sweden.
And also it helps when you're with some of the biggest names in the world. That pulls your kind of progression up, doesn't it?
Yeah, like when I was younger, I was always like super hungry to try to be better. But now when I'm traveling and I'm seeing other skaters and see what they are able to do, it's always inspiring to try to be better when I'm home practicing and stuff like that.
What does it mean to you to represent your country in skateboarding?
It's a really big pleasure to represent Sweden for skating, since we have had so many good skaters from coming out from Sweden. So it's awesome to just be able to show that it's a really good skate scene back home.
So it seems like you're flying a bit higher this year and you're boosting probably like a foot higher than anyone else at the moment. Is that a conscious decision that you've made?
I always like to go high and like mark my tricks more than I've done before, and I feel like the judges like the height and the speed, so I've definitely tried to improve that the last year, but also taking the technical tricks together with that. So I'm trying to mix that up a little bit.
You know what it's like to get through to a final. You've even qualified through in first place, but it didn't quite work out for you. Is this the year you're going to get on the podium?
That's a hard question, but definitely hope I can try to make the finals and make a good run, for sure.
I mean, the thing is, skateboarding's always in control, right? And you never know what you're going to get. What do you do to kind of fight the demons that are telling you you're going to fall off or something like that?
I'm always trying to listen to my music and like find myself in my skating again, like trying to just like think it's a normal day at home and just like trust myself in my skating and know I can like do something and stuff like that.
So what are your goals for this year?
Definitely trying to make some more finals and bigger events and trying to just have a good time with my friends and improve my own skating, together with starting to film more a video part.
And is it hard to approach something like a video part whilst you're professionally touring around in competitions?
Before Paris, I was a little scared of like hurting myself or jumping downstairs and handrails and stuff to like roll my ankle, for example. But it's definitely loosening up a little bit now, since it's maybe not as important contest, but even though it gets more important to me since I want to do better, so it's always like trying to match that up.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a buffer to get injured at the moment, but as it starts getting nearer and nearer to the big show, things get more serious, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
It's been good to chat to you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
I appreciate it.
We'll see you soon. So we got some warm-up going on our bowl. It was well good to catch up and hang out and away from the park and get some insights into how Hampus sees things. Very disappointed to not see him getting through to finals, though, MItchie.
It's a very short warm-up, but it's looking like they're getting into it right away. It is sad to see, you know, Hampus obviously came out here for 6 weeks and worked super hard, and he's just a great dude, and I would have loved to see his run get him into the finals. We have to consider that that semifinal was the strongest semifinal I've ever seen in my life, so it's not even really his fault.
I really feel like we were witnessing a special moment last night.
Truly, truly special semifinal, to the point that it's going to be difficult to back up that level of skating in a final the next day. You're going to want to repeat yourself right away, and you're just going to have to ease back into it.
Well, it almost feels like there's not much room for improvement. You know, they've set the level so high for people to be able to change up their runs. It's going to be quite difficult, right?
Yeah, I just want to see someone make a run early. In that way, we have something to build off of, and then it's going to go insane.
So we are very lucky to have a special guest in the booth, and I'm very excited to hear your insights. We are welcoming Pedro into the booth. Hello, mate.
What's up, guys?
Pedro Barros. Thank you for being here. You're one of my favorite skateboarders ever since I was back 13, 15 years old, just skating like purely vert, like watching you fly around it changed my life.
Dude, thank you, MItchie. It's an honor listening to that from you. You're a big inspiration, honestly. You've always been, and it's really a special moment to be here with you.
Thank you, thank you.
So let's talk about Pedro Carvalho getting through into the finals. Didn't have the best skate, but he got through. And that's what's important at this point. How do you think he's going to be moving forward into this final? Is he going to be, you know, quite calm, or is he just throwing everything at it?
Honestly, I hope and I think he's going to just throw everything out, you know. For Pedro, being in a final like this, I believe is already pretty special, especially from what went down yesterday. So that semi was insane, and to be part of that select group that made it to the finals is something special for sure.
And how's he feeling this morning? You must have had a chat.
Honestly, he was chilling. We were watching the women's final. He was shirtless. It looked like he was pretty comfortable, you know.
Nice.
He's pretty used to being shirtless, Floripa boy. So it looked like he was having a good one. The sun was hitting his back, and you know, I think he's ready to get some good skateboarding going.
And speaking of good skateboarding, Luigi Cini's looking very comfortable out there.
Luigi
trying something a bit special in the deep end.
Flip Indy 5 in the deep end. So yesterday, Luigi was saying very candidly He's like, Heat 2 started, and we saw 3 or 4 scores in the 90s, and like we had no idea what to do strategy-wise. What do you do if you see scores that high, like in the 90s, and you're in Heat 2? What do you do?
I mean, I was actually saying that right before Heat 2 started. I was like, I think everybody's going to feel the pressure. Most likely their first run, they're going to fall, and they'll start getting the rhythm. But Luigi, I said, he's one of the guys, him and Ale, they're prepared to take it down on the first run. But especially Luigi, because he's been just so laser focused lately and putting a lot of work into skateboarding, and I think not just physically and, you know, in the park, but also mentally. So that's something that goes a long way, especially when you have a level of semis like you had yesterday and you have to come in a second heat. I think he just knew if he kept his strategy and if he just skated strong, everything was going to work his way.
And he just made that kickflip body barrel over the...
That's warm-up.
That's warm-up.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how consistent he's got that every go over that huge gap. But someone else who was looking very consistent yesterday was Egoitz.
There you go.
And he made the barrel flip 85 just now.
I can't wait to see that in our finals. So Egoitz, a young kid sharing the platform with some huge names, that's a big deal.
Yeah, you got to remember Egoit's been like pretty much working with a lion who for me is one of the park goats.
For sure.
And you can see that really goes also a long way, because since I remember, you know, the first years of this contest, he was here, he was watching and taking notes. And you can see he just kind of mastered it and put everything together in the right place with the right selection of tricks that just gave him that 95 yesterday. So it's pretty impressive the way that he really made that happen.
Like, he's wrapping up his wrist, and there's something we didn't see.
I saw that. It was kind of insane.
He looked like he was in pain.
He took a really gnarly fall and smashed right through the quarter bank, that Red Bull quarter bank, and it looked like it was kind of gnarly, but honestly, I feel like it's not going to hold him down.
And I mean, being able to put an NBD down in the park is a very special thing, right?
How often are you going into contests 100% healthy?
Honestly, I feel like that's something that is not really that spoken in skateboarding, but it's really hard to manage that, to be able to really handle yourself throughout the whole week of practice, that usually you want to work on certain things that are extremely difficult. And for your body to handle all of this and really come into a finals, which is Sunday, after a whole week of skating super hard, it's something honestly rare. And I think a lot of people that are watching at home, they don't realize that these skaters and, you know, a lot of the athletes, but when they're performing at such a high level, they're in really high pain. And that's something that I just think that just shows a little bit more of when you really want something and you really put yourself to that challenge and you work your way up to that position, everything is possible, you know.
And speaking of anything being possible, Gui Khury yesterday getting the 9 done. He's not been practicing, just been sitting on the sideline.
You're right, I haven't seen him take a run.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. But Gui, I mean, he's just a special kid, a special person, you know. You can see he really has dedicated his whole life for skateboarding. He's been wanting to prove himself in the parks too. A lot of people know Gui just as a vert skater, and to see that he is, you know, utilizing a lot of his skill set that he has on vert, but he is working also his abilities a little bit more on how to skate the park properly, you know, mixing up some lip tricks, some up and down the extension tricks, like he just did that nose grind and Smith grind off. So I feel like it just showcases his respect for this and just the love for skateboarding.
It's very cool. Yep, it's a great point.
Yeah, love for skateboarding, passion for skateboarding, and that's something that we see more so from Team Brazil, and I think you've spearheaded that yourself. You know, that passion comes through in your skateboarding.
I truly love skateboarding. I love life, and I feel like to have the privilege to be here showcasing what we love and dedicate our life is amazing.
We got to get to the start list, start this contest. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you,
I'll talk
guys.
to you right after this.
Have a good contest.
Pleasure to
I'll
chat
be
with you,
sending
mate.
some positive energy. Thanks, you guys, for having me.
It was great to have you on.
Okay, we're going to go into our start list, see who's gearing up for getting down.
Gear up to get down.
So, Egoitz getting that first place position through to our finals will be the last skater. So we're running in reverse qualifying order. Pedro Carvalho will be our first skater in, followed up by Luiz Mariano. Now, Soya Inomata, we have not spoken about much. Yesterday, he was on top form, but so was Guy and so was Egoitz.
Yeah,
this is going to be a battle, a proper sword fight for that podium.
You know, and Soya's incredibly consistent in the timing of this contest with the sun going down, know when. I think we're going to see a lot of runs go down.
Yeah, for sure.
You could just feel the energy change right now when that clock hits 0 and it's go time.
And you were saying you feel like the first run is going to be a battle for a completed run throughout the whole heat.
It always is. I would like to see Pedro put this down.
So straight in, 45 seconds on the clock. 3 runs with the golden run added at the end.
Straight
barrel flip Indy.
Judo 5, barrel flip Indy, heel flip Indy. Now right here is like the start of his run, where you just wake up, you're like, where am I?
Yeah. Big frontside tail slide. Hands by his side on that.
And one of my favorite tricks ever is right here, the back Smith stand-up all the way through the corner.
Taking it up to a 50-50 as well.
I actually think that was an accident, but that was a great save.
Yeah, Justin on the fly is so important.
Heel flip frontside air over the hip from extension to extension.
Oh, and seeing him try and step it up to that double varial flip Indy into the deep end.
I think that was, I don't remember if he did the heel flip yesterday, the frontside heel flip. But I think that was a very similar run to what he scored last time, and he got in 8th place. So I think he really has to give it everything to have a chance even for that golden run.
Yeah, there's no room for holding back for Pedro. But I like to hear he sat top half, cheering on the women's division and very calm.
Yeah, I think that's his natural state, cheering everyone on, having a good time. If he just waits a little longer to snap those fingers to get that grab, I think that's actually good. You just have to be comfortable putting it down super late.
72 points straight there. Great score with a fall, quite early in his run. So good to hear some insights from Pedro, right?
Oh, yeah.
One of the absolute goats of our sport.
Just an amazing skater.
Okay, Luiz Mariano staying with Brazil. Waiting for the thumbs up there. Almost a full start. So keen to get in and get stuck into that frontside Smith grind tail slide.
I like how early he squats in the flat bottom.
Frontside feeble out off the extension and down over the hip. Taking it out onto the platform quarter.
Straight into that tight kickflip Indy into the bank.
Nearly caught his heels on the way in, but carrying that speed into the backside 540.
He has phenomenal speed control.
Well, you see the speed he came out of that backside lip slide with. Whoa!
Double flip melon over the volcano.
Just leaning back a bit, right?
I think when you're doing a double flip, sometimes it's so hard to get the grab that you don't expect to get the grab. And then once you get the grab, you're surprised that you're in the position you are, and then all of a sudden your forward's gone. There's this element that you have to be ready for the make if the make is there. And sometimes it just surprises you.
Well, timing's different than the regular version. hovering a little bit longer before the board's in your hand. But with the waterfall so close to the teardrop as well, you've got no room for error.
Yep, and honestly, he looks so comfortable. His speed control looks so good. The way he stands on the flat bottom, I see him making that run.
So 75.88 with a full, very respectable score as we move over to Japan's Yuro Nagahara. Yuro is such a hard worker. He's been smashing it for so long. And I've said it yesterday, I'll say it again. He deserves to be on the podium this weekend, especially with such a colossal backside ollie like that.
He takes a different line to that love seat than everyone else. Rolls in from over on our side by the commentary booth. Carves around and it seems like he goes a little bit bigger than everyone else. I think it is a little bit of an advantage. You maybe lose a second or two, though.
Yeah, but he just adjusts the rest of the run to work for him because obviously the importance is there to go as big as you can. The judges want to see you pushing the tricks you know you can do that little bit extra. They don't want people taking it safe. They want people to go extra, and that's exactly what we're just about to see from Luigi Cini.
Seeing him skate in his head, do his whole run in his head.
So rolling in off that flat bank, coming front side.
He's going to start with a flip trick.
And starting it off with that kickflip body varial all the way over. Now that's a good 6 meters coping to coping. It's a long way to do that trick.
We know everything about Luigi's strategy tonight. As soon as he rolled in, he dropped his front foot low. You know he means business because that trick, it's not only just starting with a flip trick, it's starting with an extremely difficult one. And now that you've already done one run, you can't change your strategy. You're going all out every single run.
Okay, that deafening sound from the crowd means it's time for the one and only local lad, Alessandro Mazzara. We were saying he skates here at least once a week, and you're going to see those very unique lines coming from this local lad.
He's got such a wicked pump. He has access to so much speed.
Yeah, that really helps for a big alley-oop indie like we saw. Huge Weddle 5. Backsmith back the way he came.
And he does use this part differently than everyone else.
Out to frontside nose blunt on the flat bank.
I love that backside carve.
Yeah, making carves look that good. You know, that shows how rad he is.
It's a skill in itself.
Kickflip indie fakie, making
really
no bones.
Smooth kickflip indie.
Half cap through the corner as well.
Wow, into a big Indy 5, and he landed so good that he finished with a huge ollie off the volcano. You can't even hear what I'm saying over this crowd right now. That ollie off of the volcano at the end of his run is actually going to make a huge difference in his score.
Yeah, and for confidence. The full pull, it changes things.
It's different when you're scratching and clawing versus when you're finishing your run just as strong as you started it.
Way up there, level with the top tier of our stands. Look at that. And the way he spotted his landing so early, because he had so much height.
That kickflip indie was the cleanest one I've seen from him all weekend long.
And I love that line. Comes through fakie into that corner pocket and half cabs the last bit into the teardrop.
That kickflip indie sets the tone for the Indy 5, and then it all cascades off of that.
90.83. First run up in the 90s. Alessandro Mazzara is not here to hold back. He's throwing everything in and going for that win. Soya Inomata, run number 1 of 3. We saw our first NBD yesterday in semi-finals from Soya. Do you think he's going to put it in that first run, MItchie?
It's too early in the contest to change your strategy based on other riders, so he's going to do whatever he planned on doing.
Ollieing in, different start than anyone else. Taking Pedro's route actually through. Out to backside lip slide into the midsection.
Setting up his front foot for a big kickflip indie over the love seat. It's nice that that's halfway through the run. You need a lot of speed for that.
The alley-oop heel flip indie. Frontside nose grind off the extension. And this is what sets him apart from anyone else. Getting that varial flip indie on the hip, on the spine. Body varial 540. Frontside air back into that corner pocket. And it's that blind side indie that sets him up for the stale 7. getting it done again. Still some time on the clock. Frontside air disaster to finish it off. Soya is looking untouchable right now.
That was a very clean run from start to finish. Soya means business.
MItchie, you've got 14 X Games medals. You know what it's like to get on the podium.
Did you Google that before we started?
You told me to mention it. But it's tantamount to how talented you are. You know how to get on the podium. If you've put a run down like that, what are you going to say to yourself in this position?
You know, I've ended up on the podium so many times because I always tried to stand up on the deck. And so whenever you finish a run and you get on the deck, you have a great chance. I've missed just as many podiums, if not more, than I've made. But of those misses, I still try to get out with a run made. As you grow as a competitor, as you grow as a skater, your bad performances just get a little bit better. And if you can get your C or B game in that third or fourth spot, you are killing it.
New leader, Soya Inomata, 91.12, and pushing Alessandro Mazzara into the second place position. Gui Khury up next. Managed to get the 9 done in semi-finals. A park competition first. I'm not sure how he's feeling about that trick. We've seen him try one earlier in practice.
I have no idea. I've not seen Guy skate very much today. We'll see how his legs respond.
Looking good so far. Tail grab, 540. Frontside lip slide through that deep end corner.
He does just bleed passion, though. You have to respect it.
There's that varial flip indie. Coming back off that teardrop with speed. Wow.
The flip tricks are working. I fully have faith that Guy's 9s are working, too.
Out to backside lip. Back into the deep end and up to that frontside nose grind.
Very nice frontside nose grind to front Smith.
Down to the last 10 seconds, and this is where we see him trying to get that speed.
There's that
Looks
full
like he's
pump
going
we like
for
to
it.
see. Big 900 from Guy in run 1, and he lands it, dragging his hand up the waterfall.
Gui Khury just put down the second 900 ever in park competition. That shows he is not messing around.
And look, his execution on that frontside nose grind into the deep end and popping out, and then a nice front Smith. These things are going to really help. We know Guy has a kickflip 5 and a 9, but with the little bit less park experience than some of the other guys, we're looking for those strong grinds and use of park that holds the whole run together.
Comparing that with his best run yesterday, I do think he cleaned it up a bit.
I think that was a little bit better. I think he showed an understanding that the park skating is the thing that's going to improve your score, not a better 900 or something like that.
See the hardest working man on the platform there.
And
Nick
look,
Hansen getting great shots on the camera work.
He stood up by the time he got to the waterfall. So in my book, that's just, what are you going to ask for from a 900 in a smaller face wall like that?
And in the first run. He's going to be feeling so comfortable. What can he add to it?
What can he add to this run? I think whatever he adds, hopefully he surprises us.
Yeah.
I would rather see something new. First place, current leader, Gui Khury.
91.82.
I would rather he adds something new that we don't expect rather than improving on the kickflip body varial 5.
It would be really nice to see something we haven't seen him do yet.
Yep.
And I'm sure the judges will reward him very well for that. He's saying thank you very much to the crowd. Finally cracking and smiling there. He looked so focused when he landed that run.
Yeah, you don't know if it's nerves, if it's focus, or what it is.
Okay, first place qualifier through to our final. The young Spanish rider, Egoitz Bijueska, has been looking very good in practice, but did get a little bit of an injury.
Big 540 to start this run.
He pumped out of that really, really powerful. You can see the determination in that very first trick.
He has so much speed right now.
Kickflip indie. Stalefish 540, 2 5s already, out to backside lip slide.
Watching this run so nervously. This right here is where it all comes together. This trick over the hip is so difficult. And And he makes it perfectly.
Carving that
into
waterfall.
A back tail shove it.
He has been on that trick. Indy nose bone to fakie. And he's coming backwards into the deep end.
The 720 counts. And
fakie
he stands
7.
it up.
Wow.
And he does a 360 over the... And these are all first try. Our 3 first-place qualifiers just did their exact same run that they did yesterday to qualify and basically break the entire contest. Heat 2 didn't know what to do. They started with it run 1.
Do you know what I'd be very interested to know? Whether anyone wasn't going to do that run until they saw that first 7 go down.
I think when you're this strong, it seems like there's nothing that could have changed any of their 4 strategies, honestly, including Ale, because he was very strong, too. But when you look lower on the leaderboard, now Luigi and Yuro and Luis, they might have to make some additions that they weren't expecting to have to make on run 2. Maybe you expect to make an addition on your run on the golden run, but now it's to the point where it's like, hey man, we're not battling for 5th place here. Like, let's go for a podium, which is essentially just going for a win.
Way up there. We got Egoitz on a 92.54 in run number 1. We're taking it back to the top of the heats. I don't know if I can do this again. This is so gnarly. I mean, no one's managed to get the win twice, and we're going to see a new winner on the podium. It's looking so close. Blow for blow right now. Pedro Carvalho back in. Cruising down into that flat bank. Way better Judo 5 this time to start things off. Oh!
What just
jumping
happened?
off. I don't understand what's going on.
That happened yesterday.
Maybe he started a little bit too early. Yeah, I think our course manager's just saying, hey, I wasn't ready for you. Judges weren't ready. We were ready, though. Wasn't us this time.
I'm ready to go. I want to see this.
So, once again, Pedro Carvalho dropping in. Run number 2 of 3. And then he'll have that final golden run if he can get into the top 5.
I like that he took an extra 5 seconds after they dropped him again.
Yep, staying on the Judo 5. Coming into the deep end. Varial flip Indy. Heel flip Indy. It's all going perfectly well so far.
That board is flipping fast.
It's definitely compliant. Big frontside tail slide. You could add 3 meters to that, and I think he'd go all the way. Backside Smith grind, just chilling and not making the mistake that he made on run number 1, going to 50-50. Out 2. Oh, was that double?
Wow.
Frontside heel flip air.
His board is flipping so fast.
Oh, no way. Are you kidding me? The easiest part of a ridiculous run.
I'm speechless.
All he can do is laugh.
I'm speechless. I mean, he's laughing, but that is rough.
I can't believe what I've just seen.
That's rough.
It's going to come down to that 3rd run now for him.
Nobody.
That's pressure.
I don't care who you are. Nobody expected the 50-50.
No way.
Get you.
You couldn't have predicted that. Here's that big frontside tail slide. And then the backside Smith. Look at that back foot, the toe, pinching that big back wheel against the coping all the way to the end. And then jumping up into that stand-up frontside grind. And then the double heel flip frontside air.
Incredible.
That's the upgrade he needed.
That is so hard to do. He replaced the double varial flip Indy with a double heel flip frontside air, which I respect.
And then that's where it went wrong. Front truck came away from the coping. He was halfway through the fall then going, what? What just happened?
We all were.
Yeah, there was screams in the crowd. People were like, no! 75.56. Seeing him in that 6th place position and 1 position away from that 5th place. We've been able to go through to our golden runs.
We are very likely to see a new winner, not a repeat winner. Luigi's the only one here who has won before this contest.
Okay, currently in 5th place position, Luiz Mariano.
I love everything about Luiz Mariano's skating right now.
Big frontside ollie onto the bank. Frontside Smith grind into the tail slide.
Very smooth and controlled with his flip tricks, and it's just such a hard thing to master, and it looks like he has mastered it.
Frontside blunt on that quarter pipe to set up for the kickflip indie into the bank.
And a way better line, a way better pump this time into his 540.
Landed very close to the corner on that one. Out to backside lip slide off the hip.
And strength in that pump. He's going to need that to finish this run.
Are we going to see it? Oh, just getting caught up in his legs there. And again, it's going to come down to that third run.
It's so hard to do double flips. Listen, when you're going to do a hard tech trick, it sounds counterintuitive, but sometimes it's easier to put that risky double flip early in your run because you need your fast twitch muscles to work properly. When you're drained at the end of your run and you're trying something really techy and flippy that's not necessarily scary, sometimes that's really hard.
And let's remember, we've got a battle to get onto the podium and obviously for that first place position, but also to get into 5th place and be able to get those golden runs that we've introduced to this year's competition. Oh, no way! Yuro coming out and falling off of the roll in there. Dare I say it, is there a little bit of nerves going on?
Oh yeah, for sure there's nerves.
The silence then when he fell off, like everyone's like, what is going on?
Look at this.
Look, slipping out. I mean,
so the ruling is here that when you touch both feet on your board, the clock starts.
Yeah.
So that
it's going to be a scratch.
The fact that his back foot got on the board before his wheels started slipping is really the moment that's decided your run starts. And then if you fall, your run's over.
Yeah, and you could see the disappointment on his face there. He knew it.
I think that
rules
was
are rules,
the
MItchie.
shortest run in history.
Yeah. Didn't even get in the park.
Wow.
Okay, Luigi Cini, the only person who could win two times.
He's doing his whole run in his head right now, and I think he should just be doing this.
Well, there's a lot going on in his runs.
Yeah, and I think you just need to focus 100% on what's right in front of you right now.
Starting off with that kickflip body varial, alley-oop, all the way over.
Because once you make your first trick, it's like saying the ABCs. The hard part is just getting it started, and then you're automatic from there.
I always forget to start with the A as well.
Yeah, exactly. But it's hard to know what letter comes next, so you always go A, B, C all the way through. But that's exactly what it's like. You need to start with your first trick, 100% focus on your first trick, and trust that the rest of the run goes down like dominoes.
So you see that Luigi down there, 2.13.
See, Ale is
4 full pulls
in a great position. He did a great run, but he's in 4th. He's got nothing to lose.
But we know he's got more to give, that's for sure. Starting off with that 5-0, but missing the ollie in, doesn't matter.
Curious.
He's local. He can make a change like that and be like, nah, I know my way around this.
You looked at, well, there's 2 people who messed up their drop-ins now.
Well, 5. Back Smith, back out. The Monty grind.
This is really where
okay.
That big improvement of his run is going to be right there. In that nose blunt, nollie flip out.
Well, with the rest of that run, I don't think it's strong enough to get into podium position.
I don't know.
But if he does the nollie flip out, I do think it is.
Well,
no one's doing
less
that
than
trick.
A point. Look at this. One thing I like about this attempt, even though it didn't flip all the way, look how patient he was with his feet getting him back on the board. He was able to hold his knees in the air and wait that extra millisecond, hoping it flips. Look, that one didn't work, but to have that little trick up your sleeve might make the difference on the next attempt.
44.66, staying with that 90.83 score, remaining in 4th place. I mean, he's looking comfortable to stay in the top 5 and get the golden runs. But someone who's definitely looking comfortable as well is Soya Inomata, currently in 3rd place, 71.12. It's going to be interesting how he reacts to what's happened already in the competition.
He handled that first run. He really set the tone for this contest.
That was way up there in the stratosphere.
Great fisheye angle on the deck.
Kickflip indie into the corner pocket, hanging in with speed.
Nice alley-oop, heel flip, frontside nose grind into the shallow. I love that varial flip that goes off of the middle of the spine.
Well, he's chucking in a high-scoring trick in the mix. Going for that kickflip varial 540.
Exactly. That is a varial flip in the 5. There are a couple of different flip trick 5s. Whenever you hear the word body varial, you know it's the easier kickflip. Whenever you just hear straight varial, you know that's the hardest kickflip.
He did it so perfect in semi-finals yesterday, and we'll be looking to repeat that. And currently in second place from Brazil, we have Gui Khury, 91.82 on the board. We've seen him put down another 900 in the first run. I am so excited to see where he goes with this. Loads of speed into that bridge.
Gui's ability to focus and handle pressure is second to none.
Frontside lip slide. Bringing it through to the flat bank. Varial flip indie.
Straight back into the deep end to run that kickflip body varial 5. That back leg, he's really leaning on that back leg out of the deep end.
Struggling to stay on that kickflip indie, but maintaining that speed. He must be feeling the burn in his legs right now.
And there's a nose grind, tail slide out of the deep end. That's the improvement we were talking about with the lip tricks in use of Park.
But
he has a clean 900 here
for this.
We got a great run from Gui. That is an improvement from last time.
MItchie, I need to see that replay. I feel like that was slightly alley-oop.
It might be. So when you're trying to spin that fast, it's easy to carve too much. So sometimes you have to come at it a little bit what feels like the opposite direction. Then when you turn backside, it locks you into one spot. It's like you're a spinning top.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, changed the run up, made the improvement. He's doing everything that could be asked of him right now.
The discipline to change a Smith grind to a tail slide and trust it and commit to another 900 at the end just to see what difference that makes in your score. He doesn't have very much experience in park contests. He's asking a big question of the judges right now. It's like, what exactly do I need to do? What exactly do I need to work on to make sure I can win these?
So it was spinning on the spot, looked quite alley-oop, but it was just down to Nick Hansen's fabulous filming. He's running over into the corner of the park. We're going to wait to see that score come in. 92.01 sees him in that second place still. Letitia's 2 thumbs up.
So, look, he nods his head. Okay, Smith grind to a tail slide is a 0.2 improvement. It's kind of that simple.
Yeah.
And he's making it that simple for himself to understand what's going on in the format.
So, just over half a point ahead of him. Egoitz is coming in for that big 540, slipping out the back. You can see both hands on his head there, saying, what just happened?
I have no idea, but you look at Gui's back leg started to give out too. And sometimes when one back leg starts to go, they all start to go. It's really funny how that happens.
The line in his corner. You heard Pedro say he's one of the GOATs. That guy knows a thing or two about style and execution as we go through to our third runs. So each rider will get a third run, but only the top 5 after this run will get the golden run and have one last chance.
Pedro's dealing with some mental adversity right now. Last time he had an awkward drop-in and had to restart.
Yeah,
and then he makes his whole run and falls on the easiest trick in the run with, I don't know, maybe 5 seconds left. So he has to clear his mind and do all that work again just to make a 50-50.
And straight into the Judo 5. Taking it into the deep end. Varial flip indie. Heel flip indie. Hovered in the air then, looking really comfortable.
Yep, and the way he's able to land and initiate a carve all at the same time is so impressive.
As is that tail slide every time I see it. Big front Smith. I feel like that was at least a foot longer that time.
Everyone seems to struggle with that corner, and Pedro just handles it.
Standing up on the frontside grind over the hip.
He came off a little awkward of that frontside grind. You see his back leg give out coming out of the frontside grind.
It's the back leg curse.
It's just, you've skated now 4 days in a row. You have practice, then you have quarters, semis, and finals. You just need to access that last little bit of strength that you have.
So 17.43, which sees him remaining outside of that top 5 and will not be getting that golden run.
Luiz Mariano is very lucky to be in this 5th position right now without making his last trick. Shows how strong his run is. But a double flip at the end is going to be really strong, but it's going to be tough for him to get into that 90s.
Also, he knows Yuro and Luigi can push him off of that 5th place position.
Yes.
Smith grind, tail slide to start things off.
You can see how when he gets low in the flat bottom in preparation for tricks, he has really good connection with his feet into the ground. Very consistent weight on his board.
Yeah, like a coiled spring.
Yes.
Waiting to go for it.
Exactly.
Hanging on to that melon 5. Out to backside lip slide. Frontside grind on that spine and eyeing up that line. Double flip melon.
Very good flip. Double flip melon over the volcano. Lands with his back foot on the side of his board. And a bobbled kickflip stalefish body varial, but he makes it. And frontside 270. Smooth chilling.
There's that full pull he was desperately after. Wow. Luiz Mariano coming through when it mattered, and that is definitely going to be asking a question of Yuro Nagahara and Luigi Cini, right?
Oh, yes. It's not going to be so easy for them to get into that top 5, considering Luiz just ended with a double flip melon, full commitment.
Landed a bit toe bar on that. He could have attached a caravan to it, but a maker's a make at this point when it matters.
When you get your front foot into a good spot, your back foot can sort of go anywhere. That's one of the benefits when I was talking about his pressure on his feet and really good balance and consistent weight. You can afford to land with your feet a little bit worse because your weight placement is so consistent.
And we've seen other people doing double flips. 89.96, he's happy with that. As I was saying, other people are doing double flips, but not in a melon and not on that obstacle.
Definitely not. The only other double flip we saw was Pedro.
Okay. Yuro Nagahara fell on the platform rolling in for run number 2. He cannot afford to make a mistake in run number 3. Carving that wall, getting the speed for a huge backside ollie.
This kickflip indie into the deep end, and now he's in. This is his first opportunity to get to his later portion of his run.
That was possibly the most important trick for him.
I agree.
Frontside feeble over the bridge. Lovely frontside ollie 1 foot.
Kickflip, mute, body varial, straight into a nose grind into the shallow end.
Loving that line out the corner and up to frontside tail slide. Indy 360.
Huge Indy 3. Saves the rock to Fakie. Coming in switch for a cab back D. And a front one to finish it, you know.
I mean, he's got the full pull.
Look at that. He's shooting his board, but he has got maybe a 4th run to do, so hopefully that didn't chip.
But if the judges are looking for an excuse to not move him up into a position and moving Luiz Mariano off that 5th place position, I think the backside 360 landing would be that reason.
It would be landing flat on the backside 360. But that kickflip indie is like 6 feet high over the hip.
Yeah.
You don't do that accidentally. So if you look at overall execution, it probably scores higher than almost everyone else in the competition. So he has a little bit of room. Hey, he bobbled the 360. So now execution might be just like equal to everyone else.
Double hands down. I think the judges will be, you know, discussing that. 2 hands down on that 360.
In a game of skate, it's not a make.
No. In the street competition, it would be questionable if you put 2 hands down whether you make it. He's certainly going to be losing that 6 points.
It will be an upgrade.
Okay.
So Luis Francisco might lose his golden run spot depending on this score. He just starts laughing. That's hilarious.
I mean, it is tense out there, but it's skateboarding. Oh, and that's the case. Jumping into that golden run position, 90.21. But he cannot get comfortable yet because Luigi Cini is yet to put a full run down.
Very good point. When you look at the difference between these two, the trick difficulty is going to be very similar, but Yuro's execution and height is just massive. And look how good of friends they are. That was so cool.
But you always see that. Everyone's hyped. Good skateboarding is good skateboarding, despite it knocking you out of the competition.
All right, let's lock in on Luigi.
How's he going to be calming the demons right now of not having a full
Grab
run?
the board. Grab the board.
Just
keep it very
it.
simple. Grab the board.
There it is. He's got it done. Now he's going to be like, right,
already in position.
That's out of the way. I can move on.
And he's tall and smooth, so you don't notice that he's going massively high.
So transferring over the spine with the 5-0, coming back into the deep end.
Ready for...
Oh, no way. We saw it once in practice earlier. And he had to put that in, didn't he? He wouldn't have got through, maybe.
It's so hard when you mess up the first trick on both of your first runs. You've just been sitting like 30 minutes without skating.
Yeah. Having to watch everyone go ahead. And that, confidence, to stay confident in that position, very difficult.
So the way this ended up working out, these next 4 are in the top 5. So these next 4 riders have 2 runs left.
Yeah. Nice bit of a buffer to maybe work something out that hasn't been working for you, or to improve on what you've already done.
2 runs is like a big bonus after you make your first one.
So starting off in that familiar position, not making that mistake of missing the ollie in after that frontside 5-0. We were saying anything's on offer, including the barriers that contain this amazing skate park. Oh, do you know what? Maybe oversent that one.
Maybe overheated a little bit.
It's okay, Alessandro. It's all good. It's all good. Going to be getting that golden run.
When you're in this position, this late in the finals, and you need to make an improvement on your run, it is really a matter of aim small, miss small. The difference between making your frontside nose blunt nollie flip and missing it is just maybe you feel your big toe when you flip instead of your pinky toe. And it's hard to get your focus that fine-tuned, but that is truly what it comes down to.
Soya Inomata. For first place, he's going to need a 92.55. He's certainly got what it takes to get that score. Let's see if he's going to throw everything in. Certainly sending it on that first 540.
Absolutely no room to hold back, and he's going so fast into this deep end.
Alley-oop, heel flip indie, frontside nose grind, back off the extension. There it is, varial flip indie over that spine hip.
Now he's setting up for the varial flip indie 5-4.
Oh, wow, he put that on
end.
his feet, properly tucked up, but just wasn't leaning far forward enough, right?
Yeah, it looked like his axis of the spin was just a little off. And that can actually come from either the line not being perfect or even a little bit of fear. He didn't grab it last time. So sometimes when you lean off of the board, it actually gets easier to flip and grab, but then you lose your balance. So basically, he grabbed it, but at what cost?
Yeah. But lesson can be learned from that, taking it through to golden runs.
Yep, trust that that grab will be there.
Okay, currently in second place, 92.55 on the board.
So we're probably going to see a kickflip Indy 5 with the tail slide.
Yeah, another variation of the run.
Yes.
And imagine if we saw 3 900s in our finals.
When you have Gui Khury in there, anything is possible.
Do you know what I'd like to see is a change of that lip slide?
that's really where a big part of this run can be improved. And here we have the kickflip Indy 540. It's just so hard to get that back under your feet after you get the grab.
Indiara Asp there giving a round of applause. Well, trying to with that claw.
The lip slide being upgraded to a different trick will be more of an upgrade than the kickflip body varial 5 to a kickflip Indy 5. If you think about like big buckets, you're already doing a kickflip 5. Doing a different one is going to be a little bit of a difference. When you go from lip slide to like frontside nose grind through the corner, now you're talking multiple points different.
So we qualified through to the finals in first place. Egoitz dropping in for run number 3 and still in that first place position. Already seen that 540. Lovely backside Smith grind, pointing it through. And how he comes out of a backside Smith grind to have enough speed to ollie that gap is ridiculous.
It is so impressive, and landing so hard on that ollie because the transition is facing the wrong way.
There's that blunt slide transfer over the hip gap. Coming back into the deep end.
Heading into the deep end with that insanely hard trick. Straight into a tail slide, backside shove it. He is so good at that trick.
Varial flip Indy to fakie. See him eyeing up the line then.
Heading back into the deep end.
Getting away from him. Do you know what? Looks like he might be a little bit tired.
He is tired. There's no doubt about that. I don't know what was different about that run than his first run.
Okay, this is where we see a change in our finals format. We're going to have a 3-minute run up, and then we're going to see golden runs. Each skater gets one last chance as long as they got through into the top 5.
Yes.
They'll get 45 seconds on the clock, but first wall rebate. That means they could drop in. If they don't make the first trick they try, they can go back, reset, and start again.
It was interesting to see in the girls' competition, nobody used the first wall rebate.
No, they just went back for an improvement on what they've done.
Yeah, and I personally think that is the great strategy for someone like Luigi, who has the hardest trick in his run, arguably, at the first wall. It would have been great if he had the golden run to have a little bit more confidence that, hey, if it works, if I try this twice, it's going to work.
How good would it be? Current 5th place. He's got through to the point where it's going to matter for him. If Yuro Nagahara could get out onto that podium, that would be a great comeback.
Yeah, so we're looking at Yuro Nagahara in that 5th, currently in that 5th place position. It's like free money. Like, just go for it. Now, the contest is basically over in your mind, and now you can just send it.
And then Alessandro Mazzara, local lad, will be looking to get that frontside nose blunt nollie flip in. He's going to need it. He is definitely going to need it. But everyone in the bowl knows that we're on an 18-month rolling ranking. So after 18 months from your 3rd best score, that will drop away, or your top 3 scores. One of those will drop away every 18 months as we go through our World Skateboarding Tour. And there's a lot of points on offer if you can make it through to this point and get into the finals. 15,000 odd points. So Alessandro, is he going to be able to compose himself and get this nose blunt nollie flip?
You know, it really is about that thing we were talking about earlier. Aim small, miss small. His entire focus has to be on just the way his back toe flicks off of the tail after you pop your nose. It's a very specific flick at a very specific time. He just has to trust that the rest of his run is automatic.
And every time I've seen him actually make that, there's been no wobble. It's just been perfect.
He 100% has the ability to do it. It's just, can you do it when it counts? This tired, late in a final, halfway through your run.
So the sun has gone down, the lights are on, And it is electric down here at the Spot Skate Park. The final part of our men's finals. We've got our golden runs, and our first rider in will be the amazing Yuro Nagahara. And here the crowd going absolutely wild. This is a tense moment for Yuro.
This is like a super final without the scores resetting.
Going back to the super final days. So 90.21. Already got a 90 on the board. We know he can do it. He just needs to compose himself and trust the process.
Oh, his feet were looking floaty on that one.
Huge kickflip indie.
Big kickflip indie. Straight into a kickflip body varial 540 on the face wall.
There's the change. Frontside feeble.
Oh, and he got a great ollie north on that one. He's looking very strong.
Back Smith. He was looking back at the coping then when he landed. Out off of the platform. Better backside 360 this time.
He got
Sliding
a board
into
slide
faking.
out of it, and we're just going to finish this strong with a cab disaster. Front blunt, and that's a big upgrade. Now Soya is really going to be looking at the scoreboard, like cursing this golden run.
Well, this is what's great about this change of format. It's not over until it's over. Team Japan celebrating already, no matter what happens today.
Dealing with that mental adversity from having just a pretty much a mistake on your drop-in on run number 2 is just such a killer to turn around, wait, be patient for your golden run, and hit your kickflip 540 and just do the rest of your run at better execution. It's really, really impressive.
And it would have been quite easy to get over-amped up and overshoot that backside 360 indie on the teardrop again, wouldn't it? But it showed that he just calmed himself down and got it done. So waiting for that score to come in. 92.30 sees him jump into second place. That's a big score for Yuro there, but he's now going to have to watch what happens with the rest of the heat.
That kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it did. Okay, Alessandro, who is starting in a different position right now. And is it that is going to change his feeling as he goes through this run?
Well, he might be planning more than the nollie flip.
I hope so.
Maybe this buys him time for one more trick.
So coming frontside through that corner, carving it up like a Sunday roast.
Alley-oop heel flip over the volcano, over the love seat into a massive 540.
Back Smith on the way back out. There's that tucked up carve. Up to nose blunt. Okay, he's taking it out knowing that he could have made the upgrade elsewhere.
But that alley-oop heel flip is just huge.
He's now got to go through the rest of that run that we've seen, stay calm and complete it.
He has to keep thinking forward. Nice, very clean kickflip indie fakie, so he has enough speed to hit this Indy 5 and finish strong. Now here's where he has 4 more seconds than he did last time.
He's jumping out. He's done enough. Didn't get the full use of time, but I think it might be enough.
Look, he changed his drop-in spot so he could have the right amount of speed for the alley-oop heel flip. But I don't think he was actually thinking, okay, what, I have a new ender now. It was a new starting trick.
Maybe he didn't even get to that point in his mind when he dropped in. He's like, okay, I'm just going to go through the process. All I need to do is this alley-oop heel flip indie, and I'm underway.
And to be honest, I think that 5-0 at the beginning helps the score a little bit, but I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze compared to the alley-oop heel flip. He's still got his ollie in, and it's basically the same run, but stronger.
There's that Indy 540. Nose boning it all the way through there. And there's the dismount, sending that board, and he is hyped.
Ah, he's fully into it.
So currently in 5th place position, 90.83, best score.
Look, that was a phenomenal run.
Eyes are on that board. waiting to see what are extremely talented
There's
panel
not
of
a
judges.
whole lot of room between 1, 2, and 3 right now.
You've got Chloe Cavell from France, frantically scribbling down a score. You've got Pat Duffy up in the judges' booth as well.
That might be the coolest part of this contest. Just
Headed
Pat
up.
Duffy watching you skate.
They're all headed up by Renton Miller, someone who's, you know, so good at flip tricks on a big ramp as well.
A legendary judging group. I used to compete against him, by the way.
Yeah, you said the other day.
Yeah.
Showing your age there, then.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay, this is taking some time, and rightly so. What they're
This
doing
is a
is
big
weighing
decision.
up. Okay, that not being done against this. Okay, 91.84. You can see he's disappointed, but he should be very proud of what he's done today here.
That, look at Guy's strategy. When he did a front Smith, LA beats that run. That tail slide made the difference.
Yeah, it came down to a tail slide for him at this point. Okay, Soya Inomata, first finals ever for him. And sending a big 540 to start things off.
The fact that he's in 5th place right now shows so much to the level of this competition. Soya, in many ways, has been leading the pack.
There's the alley-oop heel flip Indy, front side nose grind, varial flip Indy.
We're looking for this varial flip Indy 540 in the deep end.
Oh, just got away from him. You could hear him screaming halfway through that rotation. He knew it was that or nothing.
Nothing but pride for Soya Inomata. He should be so happy with his skating and what he did for this contest, what he did for everyone else. He was the first one to make those 90-point runs in both semifinals and finals. He led the charge, set the tone, and let everyone follow him. And he was the first one to land the 720 in a World Skate Park contest.
And that was what lit the fire, right?
100%. I have no doubt about that.
69.40, ending up in that 5th place position. This is getting tense now.
Oh, yeah.
The shuffle can still happen. Yuro in the 2nd place position. Guy wants to climb up into that 1st place position. He's looking very, very focused. He has got what it takes to do it, but he's going to have to clean things up a bit.
He wants that kickflip Indy 540, which is an upgrade from the kickflip body varial 540 we saw last time.
Tail grab 540 over the bridge. Frontside lip slide, wall to wall round that corner.
An extra block.
Varial flip Indy onto the bank.
Right here is the change in the run. Kickflip Indy 540. Perfectly executed.
Now he has to go through and just trust himself to get the rest of this run done.
Now he hits 2 tricks in the deep end. Nose grind to a tail slide, ollie out into the shallow end, and now just pump your face off and do a massive 900 in the deep end.
There it is, and oh, slipping out. He got absolutely robbed on that landing. And dare I say, if he'd have put that down, having upgraded that run, that could have seen him in that 1st place position.
Very close to a 0.5 upgrade off of a kickflip body varial 5.
Yeah, and I mean, just above a 0.5 would have pushed it.
It would have been very, very close.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
And it looks like we're going to have another victory lap. Egoitz should be losing his mind right now.
But he looks focused.
He looks like he's going to give it all.
I think he wants to do this. He's disappointed he didn't make his 7 last time.
Melon 5 to start it off.
Big Melon 5. And he's just pumping so strong. It's like he got his energy back.
Big backside ollie into that awkward corner. Kickflip Indy, saw those legs pushing out to be able to keep hold of it. Stale 5, up to backside lip slide, pinpoint accuracy on that. He's already won it, but he's giving it his all anyway.
I love this combo in the deep end into a tail slide, backside shove it. You have no idea how hard that is.
Varial flip Indy. Here we come into the fakie 7. Getting it round. He's done it. 360 over the teardrop for good measure. Look, everyone's going nuts.
Oh.
He's getting soaked by his fellow friends out on the platform, and rightly so. He has won the first stop of our World Skateboarding Tour World Cup Rome 2025. The young lad from Spain has really set the level as we move forward with our competitions.
That is so cool. The way he popped out and everyone knew where he was going to finish his run. They all had their water bottles ready to soak him.
Let's go! Stephen getting in there, showing congratulations.
And that is the winning run.
94.50, spreading his lead. And you know what? No matter what anyone else did, even if Guy landed that run, I don't think he could have got up to a 94.5. He can't believe it. He looks like he's in shock. A line coming in, his coach giving him a big squeeze and congratulating him. Everyone's sneaking in and getting those photos. So there's our final standings. Luigi Cini couldn't quite get it done, as could Pedro Carvalho. And then we see Soya Inomata started strongly, but ending up in that 5th place position. Alessandro, local lad, getting a very respectable 91.84, but it not working out. And our top 3, 92.01, Gui Khury from Brazil. Yuro Nagahara doing what I asked of him, getting on the podium finally with a 92.30. And in 1st place, way out there with a 94.50, Spain's Egoitz Bijueska.
To separate yourself between a 92 in 2nd place to a 94 in 1st, that's a big deal. That is so hard to do, to make a separation like that at the top of the leaderboard.
We see our winner there on the screen. But let's take a recap of what we've just seen from our top 3 podium places. 3rd place, Gui Khury. Tail grab 540 to start it off. What do you think changed things up for Guy today in regards to his performance yesterday?
I think Guy understanding the park competition format and trusting that tail slide was a big moment of growth for him.
Okay, 2nd place, Yuro Nagahara.
Once you get into the bowl, anything can happen.
I said it earlier, wouldn't that be a great comeback to see him getting on the podium? And he did exactly that.
And the deal was sealed when he did that kickflip body barrel 5.
There was that cable aerial backside disaster and ending it up with the frontside blunt in the deep end. And our winner, Egoitz Bijueska.
This is some of the best skateboarding I've ever seen, flat out.
Oh, without doubt, without a doubt. The level has been pushed so much higher worldwide right now. Stale 5.
Just the fact that there's no breathing room in the run and every trick is legitimately hard. There's no filler tricks and there's no breathing room.
So what is this saying for all of the park competitions in the future? Are you going to need to do a 9? Are you going to need to do a 7, MItchie?
Add 4 tricks to your run right now.
Yeah, get in the park and start adding those tricks.
Yes. That time where you're carving around between tricks is slowly but surely being taken out of park skating.
Yeah. It's almost like there's no room for a carve anymore.
Well,
you know, you need to get that speed from somewhere, but everyone's chucking in those extra tricks. You know, the varial flip Indy over the spine hit. That helps, doesn't it?
Well, that's a great example of a lot of people are carving through that section, but Egoitz is landing and pumping.
So we're going to check out our world skateboarding ranking. See what it's looking like at the moment. And this is our top 3. No changes. Take Khury.
I believe that was Guy's second score. He doesn't even have 3 scores for his world skateboarding ranking yet.
And I mean, Tate is such a fierce competitor. Couldn't get through this time, but Victor Sormunde in that second place. I would have loved to have seen what Victor would have done in finals today, mate.
Yep, 2 of the 3 that are in the top 3 of the world skateboarding rankings. All 3 of the top 3 world skateboarding rankings did not make finals today.
And Augusto Akio couldn't pull it together. Took a big slam in our semi-finals, but remains in that first place spot. Well, I'm going to need to decompress from that. That was just as good as semi-finals, massively explosive skateboarding, and more of what we saw.
I need a deep breath after watching that.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Definitely come back and join us next week for our street competition. We'll be heading back to the Colosseum in Rome to see some of the best street skateboarding you will ever witness. We'll see you then, and thank you very much again for joining us.